Okay, that's fine. Just give me. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We have JV for the Dunwoody Hawks League team facing Concordia University Nebraska today. And I'm here with the top laner for the varsity team,
Hello?
Andrew, also known as Kavaru. And I'm Icky Coffee. I'm the support and captain of the varsity team. We got about 2.5 minutes here until the game actually is going to start for us because of the spectator delay. So kind of want to go over the draft here now. Think because of the screen, you guys aren't able to see the draft, so I'll just run through the champions here. For Dunwoody, we got Wukong, Olaf, Anivia, Zaya, and Lulu.
And I believe that is
then
the Wukong top. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes, because that is Tyler
yeah.
who's picked that. So it's going to be in that order for who's
Uh,
playing what from top to bottom. Then on the other team we have Mordekaiser, Lilia, Yone, Tristana, and Tarek. So Andrew, I want to bounce off you here real quick. I don't know if you know anything about either side of this Wukong Mordekaiser matchup in the top lane, but immediately that's where my eyes are going to for what's going to be really impactful for this game.
This could be a really rough matchup for the Wukong because he's a great pick in the 80 champion since his passive stacks up that armor when he's fighting longer. But maybe he could go for something like an early Hexdrinker here and make it a lot easier. The Divine Sunder will also help because Mordekaiser just naturally has a lot of health. So I feel like that could be good in the matchup too. As long as Mordekaiser doesn't get any healing cut, it could end up going in this Wukong's favor, I think. He just really has to watch out at those early levels because that's when he's going to be his weakest. His magic resist per level is really low, so
For sure, he's gonna have to find some way to compensate for that magic damage that will be coming through for the Mordekaiser. Now, another thing here that I think is going to be very important for the side of Dunwoody here is just look at all that healing that they have on the side of Concordia. They have healing coming from the Mordekaiser, from Lilia's passive, Yone, from Tark, and I guarantee you Tristana's probably a decent chance, I guess I should say, building a Bloodthirster at some point.
there will be
Their
some
build
lifesteal
pouch.
in that build, I bet.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of ways for Concordia to heal through these fights, and there's a lot of ways for them to apply that anti-heal. I think you're probably going to be looking at that coming from the Zaya or Anivia.
Right.
My
Yep.
assumption.
The Wukong could also be a good pick to have the anti-heal on here too, because that could help
Right.
him with his 1v1.
And especially, yeah, it'd be especially helpful for him in his 1v1. And once he builds that item and he uses his ultimate, he can apply grievous wounds through his ultimate as well.
Fairly easily, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I think the main thing is if they lock down that Lilia, they won't really have they really just have to watch for Yone engage because Tarek's engage is pretty telegraphed, I think. So I feel like as long as they just watch out for that Lilia engage, they could have pretty good fights here. Also, when that Lilia tries to sleep, Olaf could just run her down. So Olaf getting ahead here could be big this game as well because the Yone can't stop him. Like nobody can really kite him out here except like Tristana maybe jumping away, but even then that's going to be hard. I will have to see what summoner he took, but if he took Ghost, it's going to be a very difficult game to deal with this Olaf for that team.
Okay, and Eric, if you are listening, just so you know, the stream went down in Discord, so Andrew and I do not have a way to see, but I do have the Twitch open right now, so I can. I'm watching here. And I'm going to be a little bit delayed based on what you guys are seeing on the screen, but that's okay. So level 1 here, we have Concordia stacking up in a bush, potentially expecting an invade from Dunwoody to counter, but Dunwoody's just going to fan out into a 5-man fan here, and we will be kind of just waiting for the match to actually start. Level 1s, any... do you think? Yeah, go ahead, Eric. No, you aren't streaming anything in Discord right now. So go loading. Perfect. All right, we are back. Thank you, Eric. Okay, all right. So level one's here. I don't think anything anywhere is going to be too crazy. I think you always have the potential for something to get pretty volatile level one for mid lane just because of Nivea into a Yone match. I think can be pretty rough for the Nivea.
Yep.
But
I feel like once Nivea hits 6 though, she can shove in those waves and kind of just only watch out for those Lilia ganks, and she should be good. Also, interesting enough, the Wukong took Lethal Temple here instead of Conquer, which I think is probably for the early trades against this Mordekaiser. It could catch him off guard. A lot of times, if you don't see that lethal tempo, it can really get you, especially with the E attack speed he gets as well. I think it could end up gunning him down here.
For sure. Just running through the runes and summoners to see if anything's particularly interesting. Dark Harvest and Lilia, not uncommon by any means at all, but I think that's just always a really fun one. Lilias can snowball a game if they get that Dark Harvest rolling. It gives them a lot more damage. Also, Hail of Blades onto Tristana instead of Lethal Tempo, so that means she's going to be looking for those early traits as well, which can be kind of tough to deal with. Oh, we have level 1.
Okay.
They're level 38 coming from the jungle.
Bust both HyperX summoners.
Yeah,
very good.
Summoners from Tarek. That is a really good gank. That's going to be opportunity for repeat gank down bot lane after the Olaf clears his top side. We had a little bit of a trade going on in the favor of Anivia in the mid lane. Everything else seems to have kind of stabilized, although Tarek is at half health here in the bot lane.
Yeah, I was gonna say with that Hail of Blades, they would really have to watch out for the level 3 here from Dunwoody bot lane, but it really doesn't look like it's gonna happen for them because they have the wave pushing. They're gonna get level 3 first. They just got it, and now that Tarek doesn't have both summoners, it's just they kind of lose that early aggression too. So that's a very good gank from this side of Dunwoody here. Hey, okay. Avery with a first blood here in the bot lane, looking very good, very smooth. Tarek kind of just, was a little too greedy there and walked up a little too far. Didn't really respect the damage that could come out from Isaiah there. Okay.
So what I would recommend doing, Eric, you should turn Andrew down in Discord and turn me up. No, I mean like in Discord.
Is this better? Okay. Yeah, is this better or? Okay. Move my mic away from my mouth a little bit. But yeah, really, they just not respecting that that Zaya damage there early game.
All right,
looks like
he did miss a death.
Yeah.
Olaf. I'm not sure exactly where that happened.
I think the Mordekaiser just got that lane prio and was able to roam on to the Lilia. Here, this is the kind of what we'll see probably from this early game top side. I really think that they should focus on this bot side. They already have a solid lead down there, and if they can get a Zaya ahead, their whole comp is going to have a problem getting onto her. So
agreed. And furthermore, you have the exhaust and flash still down. So I imagine what's going to happen here. Olaf's going to quick grab his blue, grab Gromp, and possibly just skip his bot side, go straight down to, or skip his bot side jungle, go straight down to bot lane for a gank, and then a play for moving over to Dragon possibly.
And it looks like they are going to be pushed into, so it could be a good gank angle. Oh, we see a flash from the Wukong here top lane.
Oh, that is a rough
damage.
That is
really just how this matchup is going to go early here. He has to really watch out for that. Like one thing you're gonna get.
Coming out from Yone onto the Anivia out of nowhere. Yone is not able to get lethal damage down. That's a big cooldown burnt. And Anivia will be approaching level 6 here pretty soon, I would imagine. It's going to help her shove out that wave and get a reset because she is low health.
Okay, the Olaf's lane kind of up here, trying to shove this wave for the Anivia so he can get a reset.
Okay, Lilia lane ganking here. She hits the bowling ball onto the Anivia. Anivia's passive goes down. And now we have a 2v1 as we're waiting for Anivia to respawn. Olaf's going to go down. Anivia out of mana. But no follow-up for lethal damage there, so it's only loss of 1 coming out. Could have been a little bit of a worse situation, but Anivia's got to get out of there because really she has no mana.
This Olaf won't be very good into this team comp until he hits 6. And yeah, he also has a level down in that Lilia there, just trying to help Anivia shove out that lane so he could get a reset. Stop losing too much.
This Lilia has been a menace on the map right now, which it comes as a little bit of a surprise to me just because of the early game power of the Olaf, but the Lilia definitely has been putting in the work that she needs to try to get her team ahead early. Now we got a root coming through. We got a lot of action everywhere. Looking top lane.
In the alt top lane.
Wukong is in the Shadow Realm. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it out of there alive. He's not. Dragon coming over for Concordia. We have Olaf stunned, CC'd, exhausted, dead.
Hey, now we have done here under the Taric.
Big Anivia stunned. There's a kill coming over to the Xayah. The Lilia is down. We got another kill coming through over for Anivia. They're chasing down the Tristana. She used her rocket jump. She can't get away. She's rooted, stunned. So much CC.
Kill for Anivia.
Kill for Anivia. That is absolutely gigantic. Ethan coming through, getting lots of money for himself, funding his build early. It'll be interesting to see if what he decides to go for a mythic here with all that money. Now, I would imagine
it would just be a rod game, correct?
Now, I would say that I don't think that the mana crystal builds into rod.
Well, maybe. Oh, is it the?
Okay, we have Yone ult coming through onto the Anivia. Anivia does not have passive. She throws down her ult. She's slowed. She's getting ran down by Lilia. Does she have the wall in time? She has the stun.
It looks like she's gonna get out here.
Yep, she's just gonna be able to walk it out. So good for her. Anivia is going to have to take not the best back here, but she should be able to TP back in and grab those minions unless she just wants to give them over to Olaf. Yeah. So they're not going to go to waste. That's a big thing. It looks like from the likes of this here that Anivia is just going to walk it back to lane. No TP is going to have to be burned. She still has that TP advantage over the Yone. And Olaf's just going to hold the wave here. So taking a peek at CS scores here real quick here. We got a little bit of a CS gap in mid lane and top lane, as well as jungle. But they have a pretty big advantage. Dunwoody does have a pretty big advantage for themselves in the bot lane as far as CS goes, and just overall gold with those 2 kills coming through as well.
I really do feel like the bot lane and the Anivia here will be the decider for this game, because unfortunately the top side and jungle got pretty behind earlier this game, which sometimes just happens, and it's really just how that matchup went. Also, that Mordekaiser is just building so much defenses when he's ahead, so that makes it so much harder for this Wukong to really do anything to him.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a rough, I think, all-around rough game. One thing he can look to do is buffer that Mordekaiser ult with his W. That could look to make a good play. But other than that, he really just has to watch out for walking up here.
So we have another mid-gank coming through. Lots of damage coming onto the Anivia, but it's not even close to lethal.
Olaf with the kill.
Strikes down the Lilia. Lily's kind of running it down right now, guys. That was 2 back-to-back not very great performances from her. And Olaf's back in the game a little bit now. He's going to get time to... Oh, he's coming face-to-face into Mordekaiser in the top lane in the river you can see on the minimap there. But... So it looks like he's going to get chased back into his own jungle. TP coming through from Anivia back to mid lane. And bot lane here, we're just chilling. We're just farming. We're putting a lot of pressure down. 20 CS lead in the bot lane. That's pretty big. Okay. Looks like blue buff is...
Oh, they're collapsing the Mordekaiser here. They got to watch out for
the Mordekaiser. Ult coming over here with the Wukong. He's taking so much damage. The flash.
The flash ult.
And Olaf's able to get the kill, so that's huge. So 1-for-1 currently. Sleep coming through, and
very good Yone ult there.
Great Yone ult. Anivia passive. They're going to have the damage to kill him before he even comes out.
Yeah, she won't be able to get up.
Shut down. Yone is a huge threat now. He just picked up a lot of money off that shutdown. He's 4-1. He's gonna be rich. He's probably going to show back up to lane with a mythic, I would imagine.
Very good ult from the Yone there, honestly. The 2 ban onto the Olaf and Wukong there, but very good to stall out that Mordekaiser ult for Wukong, and then be able to flash ult him and get that shutdown onto Olaf. So very good from the Wukong there.
So it definitely did not go as horribly for Dunwoody as it could have. It looked like it was going to be a little bit of a disaster at first, but they just had the burst to get through that Mordekaiser, and take care of business where they needed to. Yep, so Yone came back to lane, is on his way back to lane right now with that shield bow. That is a very good item for him, and it looks like the Anivia is going to be building into a Rod of Ages. It's going to take a little while for Anivia to get that online, though, because there is a 25 CS deficit in mid lane right now. So he's going to have to... Oh, Lilia creeping up through river here. I don't think the Anivia knows she's getting collapsed on right now. But it looks like very little damage. Now, Wukong getting chased out of lane again.
Those Murkreds are really helping there, as you can see. And it's also showing that this Mordekaiser built the defensive items first, because his damage is a little lacking against those Murkreds.
Yep, so this
Wukong is scaling.
Oh, nice edge up there. He would have taken a lot of damage, probably had to back. But thankfully for him, that's not a concern.
And you got to keep in mind too, also the Wukong Q does have armor shred, so even though he does have some armor here, it's not gonna help a whole lot unless he gets more items.
Yep.
Oh, Yone misses.
Oh, Yone misses everything. Secure Dragon is by Olaf, and the Tarkov comes through. Everyone's invulnerable, but they're not able to get any kills. Olaf's still alive. He's gonna drop to the Tristana. Zaya picking up a kill in response. Anivia is going to drop as well. They're also low. Can Zaya with the huge pull for the double kill? Oh my gosh. Avery pulls the feathers back and turns that team fight that looked really bad after the dragon was originally taken.
A shutdown for Avery there. Oh my goodness.
That is huge.
There, he still had the E. That was amazing. Oh my goodness. And he almost got that. If that Tristana would stay there, it would have been her gone too. This Tristana really has to deal with a very fed Zaya here, and that's really good because Tristana eventually will outscale, but they were going to delay that really heavily.
Now this is just ridiculous here. I don't want to flame, but like, I don't understand what Tristana's doing right now. She's staying in lane with half health after she just got a couple kills. She's sitting on I don't even know how much gold. She's greeting for plates here. Olaf's coming in. They're probably okay. So they are going to back as soon as they see the Olaf. They're not out of the woods yet. Olaf's going to back away. He wants to go get his farm. So this is still a really bad reset for bot lane here. They've put themselves in a situation where they're going to be missing a whole nother wave and losing their bot lane tower here if they don't back, or if they back.
It really was. I think just that play greed. He saw, that they're falling at 40 minutes here, wanting to get one last one before they fall, but that ends up just screwing them over in the end there.
Yeah. So they're going to be sitting in. She's going to be sitting in lane with half health. Possibly a risk for a dive if Olaf decides to come back down. Although, at the very least, sitting in the lane there is just going to be miserable. Anivia dodges the knockup from the Yone, but it's not enough. He's going to dodge as well. Yone also get out of range of tower. Maybe unnecessary, but I don't hate the ult there.
Yeah.
A little bit of
the Wukong here is
2
levels down, so that fight is really not something he wants to take.
No, definitely not. Here. And that tier 2 ult will do a lot of work if he finds himself getting caught in that Tristana
jumps in.
Jumping and
ulting. Yeah, questionable ult there from Tristana.
Yeah. Maybe she knew something that I don't know about that matchup. Don't know. But Tristana ult will be down. They can very susceptible to dive right now, but the Olaf is pathing top lane. That's where his camps are, so probably not too likely to get punished here, unless, man, that
Tarek again is just walking up a little too aggressive, trying to land those E's.
Making a bad trade. Thankfully
even if those E's land, I don't feel like that trade goes in their favor.
No, thankfully for him, he didn't die, but it's the lane is rough here. All right, Lilia is looking for a gank. They have the vision.
Oh, he misses the E. He misses the E.
Ult is popped. Avery ults too early, but he has to cleanse. Lily is going to drop, and will he die there for damage? No, because Judith pops the ult just to make sure that he's going to stay alive. Now we have Anivia getting a very great trade onto Yone here. Yone is going to back away.
Very good Anivia wall there. Kept them perfect timing right after he couldn't get back over
recall. And that there's not really much of a wave here. He's gonna TP back for 1 minion. That is interesting. Okay,
yeah,
so
Nivea also has TP here too, so I imagine she will TP back because
yeah,
it would
probably
make the
doesn't
reset
even-
here and TP back because you do want to just keep.
Yeah.
Because Yone is gonna have the temple advantage here with his reset.
And honestly, if I was in Anivia's shoes here, nice clone from the Wukong to avoid a lot of that chunk damage. If I was in Anivia's shoes here,
Olaf going hard on the Yone.
This looks like this might be a free kill. The flash, not in range of the stun, but it still might be enough. Yone ulting back. Oh, Yone looks like he might get a double kill here. The shield bow pops, the passive pops for the Anivia. I don't think she's gonna be able to get away.
Ooh.
Double kill going over to Yone. Yone is fed. Yone is a monster right now.
I really feel like that Olaf ult was kind of a little early there. Kind of should have saved it for that Yone ult because all you had to do was kite that out.
I agree.
Could have been in their favor if that Olaf had ult. It just the Yone ult kind of stunned him for way too long there.
Right. I don't hate the aggressive flash from the Anivia if, like, obviously it didn't work out there. It was the wrong call to use your flash aggressively like that. But I think, in theory, you could have got a lot for it. So I don't hate the look, just the follow through wasn't there. Just Lilia has ult and chooses to not use it.
Wukong getting collapsed on here.
Wukong getting collapsed on. Someone's going to the Shadow Realm, I would assume. Wukong stays alive thanks to the ultimate from the Lulu. And everything's just kind of going to fizzle out here.
I really do think Dunwoody still has the advantage here. Bot lane is very ahead, and with a Lulu and Xayah, Yone is going to have lots of trouble getting onto them.
I would agree, and if you look at the gold right here, right now, it's fairly close. They have a 1.5k gold lead, which isn't all that much. They're definitely they have a little bit more money to work with here. Now I don't know why we're choosing to fight. 5-man Lilia all. Oh, this is gonna be bad. They're dropping like flies. Oh, the Wukong gets a pretty big ult, but it's not the fight to take.
She's not gonna be able to get up the Rylai's either.
You needed to start with a really good engage if you wanted to look for a fight there. That was not it. You need to hit like a multi-man feather pull for the Xayah, or a multi-man knock-up right away with the Wukong. But going in like that and taking all that damage before you lay down any CC, not really a great look. So we have a whole other minute until Baron comes up. So Concordia's probably just going to take the jungle and reset. Would be my imagine.
That would be the smart move here.
What I imagine. That would for sure be the right play to make.
There is an Anivia on this Dunwoody side, so they can stall out the game to farm up and kind of get back even, a little bit more even footing.
And the interesting thing here is when you look at these teams, Andrew, do you have a side that you like the scaling of more? When I first think, I think it's probably pretty close, right?
I do too. The Wukong scales hard here. Xayah scales well. The Nivea scales well, but also so does the Yone, the Lilia. Everybody scales pretty well here. I think the only champions that are really gonna fall off here are gonna be the Olaf, unfortunately, and maybe the Taric too. But even then, the Taric is just so useful.
Yeah, just because of the ultimate, that makes him relevant for the entire duration of this game.
I think the Olaf is the only one who really falls off here. But even then, you have a lot of good scaling around you, so all he really has to do is just stick to somebody and force them to bust summoners, or, just be a nuisance at that point.
I agree. Now, I will say I want to see from Olaf, I want to see him build a Black Cleaver here. I don't know if that's what he's going to be building for here next. It looks like he might be building a Death Stance. But when you're this far behind and you're in a champion that's going to fall off as hard as you are, I think the right move is to just change your build path to account for your carries. All right, so we have TP from Anivia going to top lane, so she catches the wave. That was a really good TP, by the way.
Yeah, very good.
That was really good. You will have to just be a little careful to make sure you're in the right position and not on the wrong side of the map for when the next objective comes up. But that was value. That was a lot of XP and a lot of money.
Just 1 second here. I'm getting a phone call. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take over the cast here for a little bit. Well, Andrew checks on his phone. We have a skirmish going on. Wukong getting tossed into the Shadow Realm. Can he stay alive to get some help from the Olaf? It looks like he's going to drop down. Now we have a 1v1 with the Olaf and the Wukong. Wukong stats going over to Mordekaiser as he gets the kill. Olaf pops the ultimate. He's going to drop as well. Now we have Lulu and Zaya both getting hit with the Yone ultimate. Zaya is going to drop. Who's going to follow? And this is kind of a disaster for Dunwoody here, as this is going to be Baron probably almost certainly going over to Concordia here. Is the only person left alive on the map right now is Anivia, and the 1v5 potential for that champion is just not there. So we have a lot of summoners missing from the side of Dunwoody as well. So even when they respawn, I think this is a blunder here. I don't know why you're leaving the Baron sitting on the map when 4 of the people were dead and the only person left alive was Anivia without passive.
There really was a blunder there from that team. That could have been a very easy Baron to take.
Yes, absolutely.
And they could have sieged, you know, both these tier 2s in the top and bot lane and got some inhibitors probably as well, because the Anivia I don't think has enough wave clear yet. I think when she gets Archangel, she might have enough.
But Anivia's just dead here.
Okay.
Lilia coming in the flank of the Sentry here. And then Anivia's just getting jumped on. She doesn't have passive. She doesn't have nothing. Good flash on the wall, but it's not going to be enough. She's going to die to the burn. Yone, he's going to go back to his spirit body. Olaf trying to get out.
W.
Lulu ult coming through. Okay, I do have to give Judith some props on this Lulu play. I don't know how many times she's saved people with the ults, but
very good Lulu ult here this game.
Pretty big Lulu ults. She's definitely been a contributing factor that big lead that bot lane has over their lane opponents. But when you hit tab and you look at the map and you look at those champions and you look at the scores and you see Yone 9 and 5, that's something that you got to problem solve.
That's not something very strong here. It's
in the
Mordekaiser to deal with their front.
He has that Rylai's Crystal Scepter. So for those who aren't really familiar with how it works, if you get hit by Mordekaiser 3 times with abilities or auto attacks, it's going to proc his passive, this big AoE damage in field around him, and that procs Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which is slows on abilities. So he just walks at you with that passive up, and you can't walk away because you're slowed, and you just take infinite damage from that. Now we have full topside control basically for Concordia. They're probably going to look to push out some waves, maybe get a fight, and then turn to the Baron, I would imagine, especially because Yone has TP. He's in the bot lane right now, and Anivia is in the bot lane right now, and she doesn't. All right, Wukong barely walking away with his life.
For not very much on the other side there. That kind of was really good for them.
Yep.
That's needed if they're going to try to make any fight happen here.
Right, so I would imagine that they're probably just going to have to kind of give up any attempt at Baron.
If I were the red side here, I would just force the Baron and turn. There's not, the Olaf and the Wukong are fairly behind. The Yone is incredibly strong. There's really not a whole lot they can do to stop a Baron here. And like they're just ahead on levels, gold. It really just.
Okay, hold on here. We have Lilia backing on a ward right now.
Okay.
Zai's walking up. This is a dead Lilia. This is super greedy from Lilia. Lilia backing on a ward.
Good job.
Without having a way to sweep it out. She doesn't even have a sweeper, and she doesn't have any control wards. She had no way of knowing, and she just decided to back in the red side jungle of Dunwoody. Now, this is an opportunity to maybe force a fight here. I don't know if starting up the Baron is necessarily the right call, but you got to do something. You're down by 7K. You just got to pick. You need to make something happen here. Whether even if that's just getting vision control, that's better than nothing. Obviously, you want more, but they have it warded. They got the vision down. Looks like we're gonna have a fight here. Olaf stunned. They're going all on the Mordekaiser.
Wukong ult is up here in just a couple seconds.
Gonna be able to die. Anivia not doing any damage right now. Zaya is dead. All the damage is gone. All the damage is gone, and you don't win that fight.
I really think here that this Wukong maybe should have built a Hex Drinker second here. Just because you get so much stacking armor from your passive that you don't really need to go Just Dance right away. And the fact that if you want to match this Mordekaiser, you're going to need something like a Hex Shrinker.
And I mean, I don't even hate the Death Stance though, because you look at the Yone, and the Yone is Fed Disease. But another thing to consider is the magic damage that's also coming through from Yone. About half of his damage is magic damage, so building armor isn't necessarily always the best thing to do in this situation, especially when the other two Fed members of the team are AP. And I see no MR anywhere except for magic boots on the Wukong. Anywhere on this roster.
No Olaf either.
No,
Olaf could have been having a Hex Shrinker a lot. Either a Hex Shrinker is a great item for the Olaf because he does get that lifesteal, or like the lifesteal with the shield, so that really can just be deceptive for that Olaf.
And you already have the Navori. I would like to see you build into a Wit's End on the Xayah right
and
now.
This looks like it could go in Dunwoody's favor.
So this is really good. We get a shutdown on the Mordekaiser, unfortunately going over to the Lulu, but it's not all that bad because she's going to be able to
land the Olaf here.
Okay,
right. Yep, Tark is pretty dead too. Olaf is going to get the kill.
Tark's going to drop. That money's going over to the Xayah. Now we have Lilia sort of backdooring, knocking a tower down, but she doesn't have a way. So she's going to have to back away. That's going to make ending the game a little bit easier.
Just going to have to look for the favorable engages here. Because this team seems to be splitting up without a whole lot of coordination to it. So if they could take advantage of that, or like, you know, Lilia goes for another greedy back, or this Yone just goes too far up because he's also playing super aggressive, which fair enough, he is fed, but they just really have to look for something off of that where they're overstepping and just overextending.
Right, I want to see the jungler and the support pushing in, getting down vision, clearing it out, and I think you just got to camp a bush. I think that's the only realistic shot that you have back in this game.
Olaf going in with the ult here.
Is going in. The whole team's there to back him up. We got an ult coming down. The Xayah is looking low. She's alive for now. She is still alive, and the Nivea is also going to be running away here without the damage that they needed to win that fight. Can the Nivea get away? No, she can't. Olaf deep in the jungle. He's got a recall. I think
it might be game over here. Unfortunately, I think the Lilia might have been the wrong move to engage on there, just because she is at the point in the game where she has so much move speed. I think you really want to just, when you're using that Olaf ult, go into the Yone and try to get him down, because that's kind of him and the Mordekaiser are Xayah's biggest problem. And Xayah was kind of your way to win this game at that point. So it really just had to, I think it just came down to a bad engage, and also just their whole team is there, so it's not really, as long as they play the fight well, at least it's kind of just a loss for them.
Right.
Fortunately,
and I know
it's a loss on Dunwoody's side, but we're gonna see game 2 and hopefully game 3 from Dunwoody here come back. I don't think there was a whole lot of difference there. I think it was just kind of a few mistakes adding up over time. The Wukong into Mordekaiser was a really rough matchup. The Nivea did fairly well for being into a Yone early game there. But it really did kind of just drop off there because of that lead that the top and mid lane got, and the solo lanes were too much for the Xayah to handle.
And I know it's tough because I know you're broke, but at some point you gotta you need more anti-heal than just on the Lulu.
Right.
Lulu's not proccing it on everyone. Xayah could proc it on everyone, and Nivea could proc it on everyone. Even the Wukong could, but none of those, any of the laners, top, mid, or bot, none of them bought anti-heal. It was only on the Lulu.
I really do think that Olaf, that Wukong and the Nivea should have had the anti-heal too. I mean, everyone should have really just had it, because everybody, even when they're focusing, like, no matter who they're fighting here, they have the Bloodthirster on Yone, and along with the Shield Boast, so there's just a lot of healing to deal with. The Mordekaiser healing, the Lilia healing. Like you said, just pretty much anyone they're fighting here. When you're fading Tarek just on it, you want to have that lifesteal, the lifesteal cut for the Tarek. It's just kind of, it's not. I think if they're gonna have it on anybody, I think Wukong Nivea here is the best. Xayah can get it off, but sometimes she's getting, soloed, sectioned off in those fights there. So. Right,
and I would agree. I think my opinion, the prime candidate for it would be the Anivia, just because of that big AoE ult.
Yeah, and your Q passing through people would apply it as well.
Yep, that as well. And just that anti-heal would have been even more valuable. You consider Mordekaiser's build. It
with the
wasn't a Jackson build.
You can apply that onto everybody within an instant.
Yep, the Wukong would have been good too. I don't even hate on the Wukong for not building it, because I mean, my man was poor. My man was going to Goodwill to buy his items. He had a Divine Sunder, and that was it. He didn't even get a second item. So I get that. At the same time, though, I think you're so far behind, it doesn't really matter what items you have to benefit yourself. And if you just spend the 800 instead of getting that Caulfield's Warhammer and picking up the Executioner's Calling, I don't know. Maybe those fights look a little different. At that point, though, by then, the game was out of control. You're down by 10K. There's not a whole lot that I think that you can do to try to remedy that situation through itemization. So, I mean, through our critique for the game here, I don't think that the itemization was a very big deal. And I mean, just looking at these stats here at the end of the game, you see that Tristana, she was limited to 7k damage that game. So I think playing through bot lane when you're thinking about what you want to do here next game is probably the likely decision.
Right.
I would have to think.
I think they go just for the strong bot side here. I think Olaf should just kind of let, if they want to go for a Wukong pick or a tank pick, just kind of let him farm up and scale top. Just really kind of, it's just how topside is right now with the meta. It's really just the best to go through bot lane with these games.
Yeah.
And especially because they're like the curry box Avery is performing really well in these games, and if they can get him really ahead and peel him, they can get a really good win here. So maybe if they let it through, they could maybe get Avery on like maybe the Kai'Sa, some hyper carry, and just kind of play around that. I
would like the Kai'Sa. You know, here's some food for thought for you. Now, I love the Lulu pick. I'm thinking you keep the Lulu, you go Jinx, and you grab a Sejuani for the jungle.
Yep.
I think that might be a really interesting draft adaptation that Dunwoody could make, because this is best of 3, so you have to make this next game count. And I know it's not meta, but based on what you saw out of the performances from the players last game, I think that might not be a bad call. I wouldn't mind seeing Mordekaiser getting banned either for a little bit of a draft adaptation, because that looked unplayable for Wukong. And there's not really very many counter picks for Mordekaiser. There's a couple good ones like Gangplank or Olaf. Gangplank is not meta right now, and I'm pretty sure the top laner doesn't really play Olaf all that much.
Gangplank is someone you really need to have a lot of games on in order to be successful with.
Yeah, that's not something
Olaf, I don't know if he plays. I know he has played some games, but I don't know if it's necessarily something he's comfortable with. But it could be something they could counterpick. I really think I think they should go for the Mordekaiser ban, put him on his Wukong, because I really think he can come through with that Wukong. It was just a very rough match up top.
I agree. I think that there's a lot better matchups for the Wukong, but that's a tough one in particular, the Mordekaiser. And another thing to keep in mind here, the mid laner, for those aren't aware, this is a new mid laner on the team. There was an emergency situation, had to swap up the roster, and Frozen Cereal is new to the team and new to the game. He started playing League of Legends this year, about I think it was about 6 months ago now. So compared to someone like myself and Andrew, I have 8 years of experience in the game.
Yeah, I've got quite a few years of experience as well. I think season 4 is when I started. So
I think you could see that a little bit, and a little bit of communication breakdown in the team, where after that triple kill and he was really far ahead, he still had a tough time in lane after some of that gold went back over to the Yone, and then lane looked just unplayable, because when you're playing a mage champion, especially someone who isn't mobile like Anivia playing into a hyper mobile, hyper aggro, melee, almost assassin, like a Yone is
very rough matchup.
That's really rough when he has so much money that he can just walk at you and out trade you, and there's nothing you can do. So that's when you kind of got to reach into the bag of tricks and try to get some poke down and try to calm down that situation in lane. But yeah, that lane for sure, the whole top side of the map just kind of fell apart. And I think it kind of started with the Mordekaiser, right? Because you see that breakdown, and then the Mordekaiser roams down to river, and then yeah, you roam up, you catch him out, you get a kill on him, but then the Yone picks up a triple kill in the aftermath of everything. And I think that's kind of like a big focal point of that game. And you ban out the Mordekaiser, and you put Tyler on some comfort. That doesn't happen again. Yeah. I think the game can look a lot different here coming up for this next match. So it looks like we are a couple minutes out from our match 2, and we're doing pick and ban. So we're not seeing that live. So we will discuss the pick and ban when they're actually locking in the champions, and then furthermore on that 3-minute spectator delay. So hopefully we'll be able to queue up again. You know, I think you're just looking at the caliber of these players based on their rank here as we're sitting in the lobby here. This is a really close really close matchup for these teams. I think there's for sure a world in which Dunwoody turns this around here in this next game.
I think so as well.
There definitely has to be some serious draft adaptations, and I don't know, but the coach was discussing with the team in between the games here. I hope that itemization was at least brought up, because there were some issues that I saw, but I don't know. There might be more important things to discuss through the coach's eyes, but there's definitely a lot of things that you can improve on here just through guidance, you know. So I think this next matchup I assume will look a lot better. But definitely playing through bot lane is definitely on the agenda if you are looking at it through the eyes of Dunwoody. So we talked about bot lane and what we want to see through there. We talked about possibly putting jungle on more of a tank CC option to further aid in bot lane carrying and throwing down the damage. Do you want to see any adaptations mid lane, Andrew? What do you?
I think the Anivia can still be a good pick here. Ethan is really strong on it, and it seems like it's something that he's comfortable with. I know that also he did play mid lane before, so it just seems like one of those picks that he can pick. He just doesn't have a lot of experience on a whole lot of other mid lane champions. They could look for maybe a Pantheon pick and kind of look to get that bot lane ahead early. Just go for lots of roams on the bot lane here. Because if they can go with a late game scaling champion bot, it won't really matter if the Pantheon falls off, because you still have that point and click stun for whoever is fed on their team, and the roams could end up getting you very ahead. And when you get on head on Pantheon, it's not like you fall off that hard either. You are pretty useful throughout the whole game. Yeah,
it's not the same as old Pantheon from a couple of years ago, back when it was build lethality, only lethality, and if you don't win the game within the next 20 minutes, good luck, because you're not going to do any damage. Now you have a little bit more options with itemization for the Pantheon, where a lot of people are building the Eclipse into the Black Cleaver, sometimes even Black Cleaver first. That's more of those items that are going to be helping out your team. And if you're going to be building those items, like the value that you get from that doesn't really go away. Even as your damage is less impressive as the game goes on, you're going to be helping out your team in other ways through the items that you build. So I think Pantheon could be an interesting pick here, but that would be something that you'd probably have to save for a counter pick of some kind.
I think so too, because the Pantheon can get counter picked, and that would kind of just defeat the point of picking it.
Okay, so here we are in draft. This will be exciting. Now, draft was already done through a third-party program, so we're just kind of seeing the aftermath here, and the particular pick order isn't necessarily going to translate to what you see on screen here, because these players are just going to be picking the champions that they're going to be playing, even though you might pick your support champion, for example, first, but top laner is going to select their champions because that's what they're playing, and that's the order that they are listed in on the draft here. So Pantheon, that's kind of funny when we were talking about Pantheon, and you see the Pantheon band coming through.
Funny.
Shen.
Good pick for the top lane here, I think. Especially into the Mordekaiser, because you can just stack some magic resist early.
And there's a Sejuani!
Perfect.
There's a Sejuani! Okay.
They're looking to just play around Avery here, I believe. Probably with something with AP damage mid.
I'd have to imagine. I wouldn't be surprised if it was another Anivia game.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, because you definitely need some more damage if you're playing double tanks topside. So I bet it'll probably be some mage. Okay.
Oh.
That's
Oh.
I'm not sure if that was intentional.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I can't imagine that it was.
I mean, they do have a lot of peel already.
Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, all right. So
must have been some sort of glitch. Yeah, wrong pick.
Yep, wrong pick. Okay, that's what I thought we were gonna see. I was gonna say there's absolutely no shot, no
that he is playing tail mid. Norman would never let that slide.
No, that's never happening. So now we just get to sit here in a little bit more excitement. Our mid laner doesn't have.
Oh, Lissandra. Okay, they needed to pick Lissandra.
Okay, so they picked Lissandra. Okay.
Eric.
Eric here typing the emoticons. I love it. So this is going to be interesting.
Lissandra is a pretty simple champion, but it always is a little rough. Maybe he's not first timing, but it just continues. Huh?
So wait, what?
I think one of the. I think the leader has to. I think the leader has to leave.
No.
The spectator glitch because none of the bans are there yet.
Yeah. Okay. I would imagine we'll see like what happens actually when the picks come through, but I think this is just a spectator bug. Yeah. So we have Lissandra coming through for mid lane.
That'd be really good. There's a lot of CC coming from the Dunwoody side here, especially on something like an Ari. I think that could have been a counter pick because we didn't know the pick order. If Ari gets locked down with hard CC, it's pretty hard for her to do anything. So I feel like the Lissandra pick here is really good.
I'm just concerned about the first time Lissandra because I mean, obviously I can only speak for myself, and I'm more of that enchanter style support player where I'm not really playing those champs that go in. The one exception to that is Pyke, I guess. But I remember when I first played Lissandra on ARAM for the first time, I had no idea what I was doing. So
really, I think most of the learning curve with Lissandra is learning your damage and when you can go in, like what's favorable to take. Also, kind of just learning how to trade with your Q on the wave.
Right. No,
I do think she can be pretty simple, but there is a bit of learning curve with that. Knowing who to ult is a big thing. If you need to ult yourself or one of the enemies, that can be be big. Oh, so and an MF. So I feel like the lockdown here they have is really good. They're not going to really be able to go anywhere.
And look at that. So I just want to give myself a little pat on the back here, guys. Look at this. I called the Sejuani Lulu Jinx combo. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
As long as they let this Jinx scale, this should be a free game. They have so much feel. That Shen can get more map presence than the Mordekaiser. He really can play safe. Like as long as he stacks magic resist early, I feel like he won't die. He might have to give up CS, but really in this sort of matchup, a lot of people don't realize that you can just go for XP rather than try to die for minions. As long as he gets that XP, he's a tank. He's going to be useful. So I think if he stacks magic resist here, it can go well for him as well.
So Unfortunately here, the Jinx is almost guaranteed to have to pay the QSS tax. Gonna have to buy that item because there's a lot of very scary CC.
And I think he should still take cleanse here as well.
Agreed. I 100% agree. I think you need both. I think you need QSS and cleanse because you need the QSS to be able to get out of the Mordekaiser ult, and there's still plenty of things that you're gonna have to cleanse.
You have to watch out for the Ari charm.
The Ari charm is basically a death sentence if you get hit by that, and the Tarek stun is also a really important factor for these team fights. And all that can just layer on top of the misfortune ult that can come through, and there will be a lot of damage for Dunwoody to try to deal with. So we have 2.5 more minutes to talk about these matchups a little bit. I really hope we do see the cleanse for the Jinx.
Right. I feel like Amumu, Sejuani is pretty even here. Both of them have some decent damage for a tank. I do feel like the Amumu might win that early, but as soon as Sejuani gets some items, I do think
I would imagine so. I'm imagining that Sejuani's probably just not really going to want to be in the same place that Amumu is, because a lot of people really underestimate the damage that comes through with Amumu with his W.
Right.
He's always on when you're fighting. And he wins a lot of 1v1s because of that damage that he gets. So I would imagine that Sejuani's probably going to kind of want a path opposite of him and try to use that discrepancy in presence to get pretty much just bot lane. It's probably
if he can path towards bot lane here and get the scaling bot lane ahead, that will be very good. That's kind of that should be the game plan here. They should look for also the Lissandra roams. The Lissandra E can like create some pretty good angles for a roam here. So like he can just shove out hard with Q and then just head bot as well. Top lane should really just be an island this game. I don't think they should focus a whole lot on top lane. They have the Shen, so they should really just look for stuff bot and look for that Shen ult. As soon as Shen hits next, they should look for something because that is pretty free for them.
I think the Shen matchup is just so much better in Mordekaiser than Wukong. Because Shen's 1v1s are pretty good, especially with that shield that you get. You can negate a lot of the damage that would come through from
a lot of people don't expect the early damage from Shen for sure.
Right. And I'm expecting probably MR boots for a lot of people in this game, because you think about it, there's just so much CC that you have to try to deal with, and that tenacity will help a lot, especially for the tanks, because they're not going to get one shot like the Jinx will. This is just a protect the Jinx comp, let topside go in, and you're probably gonna have Lulu and Lissandra just sitting on top of the Jinx to make sure that she's not going to die, and just let the Sejuani and Shen go in and lock people down. I'm a little bit worried about lack of damage though, because Jinx does a lot of damage, right? But then you see
they don't have Jinx too, especially. It's gonna be a really rough fight.
If Jinx dies, that's it. It's probably a lost fight. Now, Eric, just so you know, the stream for us here in Discord is down, so we will need that brought back up just so we can see once you get the chance. Okay, so we are in game here. Again, this first little bit will be delayed. Oh, and there's a stream back up for us. Okay. All right. So level 1, we got Dunwoody on blue side, stacking in a bush inside of their own red box, because they are anticipating an invade. And if you look ahead, you can see there's another 5 stack in the river. Oh, we're getting some spice here, level 1. They don't even know it. But the whole 5 stack is going into the bush. It would have been nice to have a ward down so they could know that they're there. Is anyone going to reveal? Sedge reveals.
Minions have spawned.
Lissandra reveals. They have no clue that they're in there. What did I just watch? That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that was like a little weird there.
That is weird. So now, are they gonna go try to kill the Sedge? They're just gonna try to take the red buff from right under their nose.
Oh yeah, it's funny that
This is weird.
I'm surprised they didn't jump onto the Sejuani pad.
I know.
They really didn't know that most of the team is there, so...
Sejuani's gonna know something's up as soon as she sees that her buff is out of place. Oh, light smite from the Amumu, but he gets
barely.
the steal still. Okay, so that's a rough start for Sedge. She's gonna have to go straight to top side.
The one thing Nishan can do up here is look for the taunt out, like maybe look for a couple autos with his Q, like in the draft, and then taunt out instead of taunting aggressively, because you really don't want to fight into a Conqueror Mordekaiser.
No.
The short trades on Chen are really where you want to be, because you want to go in with your passive shield, have that help you win the trade, go for the short trade with your Q damage, and then just kind of walk out. I feel like once he gets level 3, it could be some better trades for him.
Okay, so we're looking at
mid-years doing some damage.
Yeah, we're looking at a good trade coming through here for Lissandra. That's going pretty good. If you're looking at everywhere across the map here, everything's going pretty decent for both sides. Everything's pretty even right now.
The MF is just gonna have the early damage advantage against this Jinx.
Absolutely.
But if their bot lane makes any mistakes, they do have range. So this Tart has
the charm is missed from the Ahri. That's a great little engage.
The bot lane can look for some favorable trades. I think they really should just look to poke out that Taric with their range and look to maybe kill him.
100%. It's a little tough because, like, kind of when you're in this lane matchup, you have a super early game focused ADC in the Misfortune against a late game scaler and Jinx. You kind of just want. Oh, I didn't even see Sejuani coming in.
Huge
Flash on and gets the kill over to the Lissandra for the first blood. The Sejuani came out of nowhere.
Dealing with the Mordekaiser a lot better than he was on the Wukong. It's
This
much
is a much better game. We might get ourselves. A game 3 here. Yeah,
I do think we will. As long as Dunwoody plays correctly, they have so much CC. He can go back mid for really good ganks because there's so much setup for him, especially on Sejuani.
All right, that's a lot of CC going over.
I really think here he should have threw the E back under the tower rather than at them.
Not only that, you're dying with flash up too. That's the rough thing. You have that escape tool available to you, and you just don't use it.
Sejuani maybe looking to go on.
Yeah, this could be a kill on Amumu here if Amumu's not careful. Now he's gonna have his bot lane's gonna have the first roam up, so I don't think they can actually go for that fight.
Off here.
Yep. Our TP going back to mid lane.
So Mordekaiser still has both pots here, so maybe Tyler or Saki has to look for just a TP back here with an item advantage, kind of swing tempo in his favor.
That might be.
It will be hard to push out the lane against the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, he is still full health, so I think that you might be able to just sit in lane and soak up the damage a little bit. Wait till Sejuani paths back up there to help you shove that out. But
he also has one more level till 6, so they can look for something as soon as he hits 6. Ahri is really so you would just hold it on.
Yeah, Ahri has now she doesn't have any. Okay, she had enough for a Q, and that kind of made the trade quite unfavorable for Lissandra. Lissandra's gonna have to back. And without TP to get back to lane, so that's gonna be pretty rough. Ahri's not gonna be able to shove that out very fast though, and she hasn't back. So Lissandra might be able to get back and catch some minions. I doubt it though.
Or being Shen Mordekaiser here, he's only 1 CS down, so it's really good.
Yes.
This lane fast here.
The improvement in the top lane situation is
very good.
Astronomical.
Well, this is a CS lead in the bot lane here, which is exactly what you want for this comp. You just want this bot lane ahead. That's really it.
Right.
I think maybe they could try to bait something since Jinx has cleanse.
I thought.
Yep. Okay.
That those traps are going to hit the Taric. Sejuani going in, burning the flash on the Taric.
So with Dragon being up here, they should shove and go straight to Dragon, because now they have a summoner advantage on them, and I do believe that it can. They're gonna have to reset here at a bad spot.
And you have Shen ult. I think
right.
you might have to actually reset because you look at Jinx. She has no mana. It'd be pretty rough to try to team fight with.
As I'm saying, the Jinx, bot lane goes for reset, and then they just go Drake here. So yeah, they look for Shen's looking to back here.
Is Amumu clearing vision? No, Amumu's on drag right now. Look at that. They're just going for this. Okay, we have a fight coming through. Charm from the Ahri. We have the ult on Lissandra.
Okay, he gets the Ahri ult.
Ahri's gonna have to ult away as well. So, pretty good trade.
Yep.
I would say pretty even. I don't think anyone is really favored in that, I guess. Oh, unlucky that the charm hits, and the mid laner drops with flash up again. That's,
really should have just flashed that charm.
Yep, it's tough. I know you don't want to use that summoner spell because it's a big one.
I do the same mistake too. I hold it and get greedy, and it's better to just use it than live, and rather than hold it.
I do that.
It's on a cooldown. It comes back up. You know. So really, yeah, you don't want to always have to flash, but in the end, it's
better than giving over the $300.
Hold it and die. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I do that. I do that when I go out in the jungle and try to kill wards all the time.
See, if Sejuani was 6 here, you would be there, but he gets it anyway. The Sejuani damage is huge with that
damage. It is ridiculous that a tank can do that much damage. Mordekaiser sitting in the bush and getting a cheap shot onto the Sedge, and the ult comes through. Flash onto the Sejuani in the Shadow Realm. Sejuani's gonna
take you away. Oh, and he gets away. He gets away. Oh, just on the edge.
Range. Oh, unfortunate, and that's also Shen ult going down. Shen's going down there, sticking his nose around in a place he probably shouldn't be, but Amumu doesn't have another charge of his bandage trust to try to lock him down, so he's just going to get back to walk the lane, even after a little bit of a positioning mistake there. So we got Misfortune ult coming through to clear the wave. Avery taking a little bit of damage, but the Lulu shield is going to mitigate a lot of that. That's
she has to use cleanse, yeah.
She chose to use cleanse. I don't know.
I really didn't think she had to use it there.
Yeah. I don't know
he knows the charm is down and going for a short trade with the Q.
Yep. Nice little. He seems to be grasping how this lane matchup works pretty well. Yep. So good for him on learning so quickly.
Mordekaiser doesn't have ult here.
Mordekaiser's taking a god-awful trade right now.
Yeah.
As soon as that shield's down, Shen's is going to go in and start beating the crap out of him, but he has a Conqueror, so he's going to have to walk away. Now, Lissandra getting stunned up, charmed, every kind of CC imaginable on the planet.
Ultimate comes through. Oh, no. Oh, he gets out with the E.
Doesn't have to use Flash. Ahri's not going to take the third tower shot.
Would have been a little greedy with the Flash here. You should have just flashed that.
That was greedy with the Flash, but it worked out.
Okay.
Oh, and the ultimate, the Flash ultimate. John on the Sejuani just getting stuff done by himself. That's 2 solo bolos for him right now. He's rich. He's getting that Sunfire Cape. He's going to start doing damage. That is good for him.
And that's good for him because he can look to fight this Amumu now in the jungle.
Yeah, especially once he gets that Sunfire Cape, he will for sure be able to duke it out with the Amumu in a 1v1 situation. So Amumu's pretty far behind. I don't know how much money he's sitting on right now, but when you're just looking at the item comparison, definitely Sejuani favored. And then, oh my gosh, don't look bot lane, but there's already a 20 CS lead in the favor of Jinx, and no one's even died down there yet. That is something. Shen with the not the TP, the CS advantage also, which I wouldn't have expected into a lane against Mordekaiser because he's just such a strong 1v1er, but he's hit by 6 minions. Good for him. The charm misses. Lissandra looking for some kind of trade, knowing that cooldown is down. Gets the root. Electrocute proc.
His ult is not up here. If he had ult up here, it could be maybe even a kill, but
that could have been a kill angle potentially.
His ult will come up before Ahri ult here though. Just slightly faster.
Something also to keep in mind here, there's a little bit of a CS gap in the mid lane as well. Oh, Tarek showing up on a weird flank, and he's just gonna get chased out back into the river. He's gonna have to go a long way. Amumu's showing back up though. I don't know if they have vision on that. They do not. They have a control ward in the bush. They have no idea Amumu is there. They might have
a little far up here. Yep.
But the Lulu's gonna get caught.
Oh, and he misses the Q.
Oh, he misses the Q.
Second one off.
He's gonna hit the second one. The
Chetnut coming through here.
The flash
good Shen-taunt. Good
great Shen-taunt. Great Shen ult to keep the bot lane alive. And a target might drop here. One more auto will do it. Is he gonna get it? The taser? The ultimate?
Unfortunate.
No mana! No mana for the ultimate!
Darn it.
It's gotta be soon. He's gonna have the mana soon.
Yep.
Is he gonna chuck it? He might just hold on to it because he doesn't have the vision, which I wouldn't blame. Looks like he's just gonna hold on to it. Okay. Tark backs. That resolves bot lane. Sejuani picks up the farm from top lane. Ultimate down from the Mordekaiser. The passive comes through for the CC. Now we have two fights on two different parts of the map here. Sejuani's still trying to get away over the wall.
Yep.
She's gone.
Nice.
That's a wasted ultimate from Mordekaiser.
Yep. Nothing. That's really good.
Now, Drag is up on bot side. I don't know what the plan here for Dunwoody is. Nice dodge on the charm. But that's an objective up. They have the Scuttle Crab, so they have to be trying to kind of sneaky and trying to do it. TP not quite available for Shen yet, so he's going to lose that wave there in top lane, which is unfortunate. Now we have a Mumu and the bot lane roaming up and mid lane roaming down to secure the second Drake of the game. That's Ocean Drake. It's not going to be Ocean Soul. There's going to be something else. We got the control ward. They know that it's gone. Is John going to go in for try to steal?
Oh, boy, Avery gets the ult steal.
Avery just did that. This dude is insane. Oh, my boy Avery ate his Wheaties today. What is going on?
Huge dragon steal.
That's a clip, by the way. Twitch
so
chat
maybe
clip
you were
that.
looking at.
Oh my goodness.
Really, any of the Drakes could be good here for this team. I do think the best Drake for them might be the Chemtech Soul for the shields, but also Hextech Dragon is very good.
Yeah, Hextech Dragon is just good.
It'll be great for this Jinx here if they're looking to play around Jinx.
What you saw top lane right there was just the broken interaction that Ryli's Crystal Scepter has with some champions, including and not limited to Mordekaiser. There's a few of them that are like that, where it just feels super valuable, and that was why. You saw Shen just completely unable to just walk away from Mordekaiser, and he just has to face tank all
He's looking like now that Mordekaiser is scaling and has his items, it's going to be a little bit rougher for him, but as long as he just keeps playing safe, he can be down CS, just wants to try to match his level and just look for roams, use his advantage.
Yep, and he's only down by 10 CS right now. That's really pretty good for that kind of match
at all. Yeah,
we got a 40 CS lead down in bot lane with a kill and Dragon credit over to the ADC.
That is huge.
Avery's sitting on his he's on that Kraken Slayer right now, so he's gonna do Boku damage to whoever he runs into.
Shen's a little
stepping up a little too far here without the vision. He has a flash available, burns it early. Sandra TPing in, great TP to keep the top laner alive there.
Yep.
That was excellent. The Ahri's roaming up here. Hopefully they just back off. They still have vision. Ahri doesn't see the Shen recalling, so
Shen might just TP back here.
Alright, Rift ult from the Sejuani.
Oh, he's looking for the TP.
But it doesn't matter. It's just, the shuttle came through. That's a dead misfortune if I've ever seen one. Double stun for the Tark, but Tark's also stunned himself. He's going to try to burn the flash to get away. But Tark, you don't have a tower. What are you doing? Burning your son just to give a double kill over. That is unfortunate if you're a bot laner of Concordia right now. And then this just feels so bad for you and Mumu. The Sejuani just walks in and just gets taken your jungle. Is he dead?
Oh,
gets the flash follow! The Mumu ultimate! He's one auto!
Okay.
He's still going to burn, and they're just going to be able to walk out of the tower. That is disgusting. Holy moly.
Yeah, it looks like Dunwoody's just taking advantage of their fat lead bot lane here. They really can, just with how behind the bot lane is, you saw it, they just got 1v1 by Juggler in top lane.
Alright, so this is
a spend taunt, but still not bad.
They're trying to get everything. They get the flash out of the misfortune. They just get to live in their jungle right now.
Yeah, there's not much that Concordia can do against us.
Mumu, I'm sorry, you don't have a jungle anymore, at least in the bot side. You might be able to go up and get Krugs or Raptors or something, but see,
looks like that's a pretty annoying matchup for that Mordekaiser. You can't really clutch this Sandra. Even if he does ult him, he gets to kite him and just have a free zone. Is basically that deals him. It's rough. It is rough.
It's rough out here for Mordekaiser, man.
I really don't think in a team setting, rushing that, especially after the clear nerfs, rushing the demonic embrace on a move here might not have been the best. I think a Sunfire Rush just would have been better. 100%.
I 100% agree. I couldn't
You
agree
have
more.
a team that you want to
think-
play around. You're not, playing solo here. I think
You
just
don't
want to go
build-
for that Sunfire Rush.
Yeah, you don't build Mordekaiser. You don't build Demonic Embrace and Mordekaiser are just so synonymous with each other. I get those two confused every once in a while. I don't know what you're doing building that item first. You don't build Demonic Embrace for clear speed anymore because it's trash. Because it's capped on
And even then, it's like in solo queue, it might be a good option so you can get some of that damage. But he's not really ahead here.
No.
He really should just be playing Tapio's Ari and MF. Yeah, he's behind.
If you had more money, I could excuse it, but you don't buy it first.
He's 20 CS
Even
down.
maybe
The enemy jungler's got 2 levels on him. I really just don't think it's a good buy here.
No, I couldn't agree more.
MF is still working on her mythic as well, so they get ripped for free because bot lane rotates and they just get that. Like, there's not much they can do to fight.
No, there's nothing they can do. They sit up there in the top lane, and Amumu's not anywhere even close. Right
now they're looking to rotate down here to Drake. MF might be backing for her mythic here, but Dunwoody is going to be their first to be able to set up and get the advantage.
And
here
what I imagine is going to happen here is you're probably going to call up one of your laners to shove in this mid wave, drop down the Rift Herald, or I guess the wave is dying, so they just get to drop it for free. And
so
you get that mid tower, and you should get dragged without much of a contest here. I would imagine.
No, they're just see what they should just give this dragon.
Oh, it's going to be a huge ultimate coming through from the Misfortune. Oh, Amumu's ultimate hit no one. Now,
Avery's kiting here in the Mordekaiser ult.
With the Mordekaiser, she gets a kill on the Mordekaiser. She comes out. She's excited. This should be a kill.
Oh my goodness. It's not even late game yet. It's not even late game yet.
It isn't. It isn't. Now Jinx is rich.
Perfect kiting.
No, he got the drag.
From carry box in the ult there.
Somehow, John got the smite down on the drag and was able to secure it. That fight was crazy. I wasn't even paying attention at.
I mean, you get 2 for 1 there.
Yeah.
And you lose your mid tower. That was really just they should have gave the dragon and saved mid tower there.
I agree.
Like
Also,
there's no way they can test that. Honestly, I think it was a little sloppy coming from Dunwoody after that. So like they got lucky. Honestly, if Dunwoody played that fight a lot better, then I think it would have been just like astronomically for Dunwoody after that fight.
So were you watching the cooldowns? Because I didn't see. I don't know.
I think almost every ult is up there.
Did
Mumu
have
missed
ult
it.
up?
Yeah,
I saw because he went in
ult.
and he just didn't press R until like everyone wasn't there. If a Mumu goes in and presses R right away, and everyone just sits there for the full duration of the Misfortune ult.
Oh my goodness,
Amumu is over for Amumu.
Dead.
Amumu, one more auto, please. Flash from Avery. Oh my God, under tower. Holy crap.
They're just abusing this Mumu right now.
Hey, someone give this Jinx a raise, man. This ADC has been player of the series so far, for sure. Sick taunt coming in from the Shen. That's a dead Taric. Flashing for what? That's another kill going over the Jinx. Jinx is 5-0 right now. Jinx has a 500 gold shutdown bounty on her head.
Exactly what they wanted. It doesn't matter what any other lane was doing. Now they just have enough heal to keep this Jinx alive.
Exactly.
And just kind of dominate this game. I mean, and right now, even he probably doesn't even need Sash now because he's just so ahead that like he can 1v1 that Mordekaiser.
Yeah, if you can 1v1 the Mordekaiser, I don't see a huge reason why you would need to build the QSS. You probably want to build it, but get your IE first, man. You know, I say for sure get IE second item. Sick ultimate coming in onto the Ari, but she's able to dodge out of any other further CC. The Lulu ultimate comes through, making him extra tanky. The Sejuani can't get stopped by anything. Now in the top lane we have a 1v1. Lissandra in the Shadow Realm. Big Amumu ult coming through. And the Lulu is going to drop, but no one else will in response. Charm is whiffed, and Lissandra lives in the top lane to back and see another day. So good for her. TP coming through for the Shen to match this wave push coming through for the Mordekaiser.
And Mordekaiser has been sitting top and just
Mordekaiser, you're dead.
Farming. Oh yeah, no Mordekaiser.
You don't have ultimate, you don't have a team, you don't have anything. You're just gonna get CC'd into your own death. Double Sunfire Cape damage coming through. He didn't even have a chance. This is...
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, he has his level advantage here because he's just been, sitting top with farm, but that just meant nothing because, they took advantage of the fact he had no ult and just put him to work.
And the Sejuani 7-1.
Baron here, yep.
2 items. Sejuani never dies, so they see this. They see that they're on Baron. They didn't sweep it out, but Dunwoody knows that they saw it. They saw the other ward go down. I don't know. Okay, I have a little bit of a gripe here right now. I know I'm a support player, but why does no one on the Dunwoody Hawks have a control ward for this? I don't understand. You can't do this.
Lysandra might be dead here.
Lysandra might be dead to Baron. A simple 75 gold purchase would have totally nullified that situation. This is... Oh, man. Guys, buy your control wards. Holy moly. Of course, it's the support main. It's reminding people to buy your control wards.
Yeah, control wards aren't worth it. Don't listen.
Okay.
But not worth the gold. Spend that 100 gold on some damage.
You're right. I think... yeah, you're right. They're just not worth it. They shouldn't buy them.
Yeah, just get damage, man.
Yeah.
Okay, Ari's alone up here. I think she used... Yeah. Nope. Okay, so it looks like all the ults up on both sides of the team. Like, both sides right now.
Okay, so they were able to clear the vision for Baron. But they
like they're
still
gonna try to
don't have a
50-50
control
again.
ward. It's going to be a 50-50 as soon as they put some vision down in there. Now, Frozen Cereal, charmed up, taking a lot of damage. Not able to catch the Ari in return. They're probably going to have to back off here because you don't have any vision in that bush.
They're going to Ari here. Ari's separated from the team.
Turns up to Lulu. Lulu misses everything. Huge removal all coming through. Even bigger charge.
Right out the turret gold here.
The Jinx is still alive. They can't front to back this anymore. But the Jinx is going to have to try to get herself out. I don't think she's going to be able to. That's going to be Baron for Concordia. Man.
I really think, they had to try to kite out that turret ult harder. The Ari was separate there, but they just got hit by the CC and they were able to just fight the turret ult, which is really unfortunate.
Yep, they had all their ultimates up. The lack of vision was very impactful. Weird decision making here again from the side of Concordia. I don't know why you're going for drag here when you could have just got Baron.
Right, that would have been.
It's not Soul
Baron.
Point. I would understand if Dunwoody had 3 drags here instead of 2. You want to deny Soul, but you don't. And like, look, Jinx just respawned just now. You could have got Baron.
100%.
You're only missing
I agree with you there.
So we're seeing some mistakes come through. We see there it is. We got Lysandra purchasing a control ward. Finally, someone on Dunwoody has a control ward. Thank God. And that's probably... Yeah, look at that. You drop down Baron Pit. Let's go! Control wards! Let's go, Hawks! I like that.
All right, calm down.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just
sorry. Yeah, I live for the vision, man. That's my role. Shen going in for the
I think the word you're looking for is die for the vision.
Yeah, okay. Oh, the ultimate comes through.
Free on the Ari. She has no more ult left.
Did she use all of her? I guess she did.
All 3 ults. Yep. Oh, that's
she used all 3 of them. She's just dead. All right, so Lysandra getting the tower in the top lane. Gonna duke it out with the Mordekaiser here. Mordekaiser has ult available, chooses to not use it. And
with Mordekaiser being behind you, you really should just go with the Jack Show build. I really do think you have like lots of damage with your MF, Ari, and your Mumu even has some damage. You should just go Jack Show here for your front line.
Right. So Misfortune burning her ultimate again. Amumu's throwing out desperation bandage shots here, trying to lock down this 5-in-1 Jinx, but it's not happening. Okay, so we see double daggers for the Jinx. Going some Zeal item second. I would imagine it's probably Runan's Hurricane.
Yeah, I would say the Runan's is the pick here.
Yep. Okay, so clearing out some vision here. They don't know that they are on 2 wards right now. Literally, the entire team is on vision.
Oh, yeah, okay. There it is.
All right, there it is. There it is. Okay, good. Waiting for that sweeper to come back up. Good deal. Good deal. Okay. So I don't think Dunwoody no longer has a control ward on the Baron Pit. That got cleared out at some point. That's going to have to get replaced, hopefully by somebody. All right. So we have an engage coming through. And the Tark
gets killed.
Tark's dead.
Right before the
Three
ult.
people stunned up, but none of the carries. Jinx gets to free fire into the front line, playing this front to back very well. Misfortune ult hits no one. Misfortune's dead. Lulu knocked up from the Lulu ult. The only person left is Mordekaiser. Can he try to fight this out? He cannot. Triple kill for Jinx. This might be the game. They can just end, I think.
I think they
Jinx is excited to have all of the damage in the world with the Jinx on IE.
Not a single death that fight for Dunwoody. Great clean fight from Dunwoody. Good pick
Only
up
person coming up here soon is Tark. Tark comes up in 3 seconds. No shot. He can stop this. I think they go for the win here. Can they do it? They're putting down the damage. Tark refuses to go in and try to give his life to stun up the Jinx. It's not happening. They're making sure they get that turret down. Look at this. Jinx focusing the tower. They have 3 seconds until Amubu's back up. Amubu's the only chance they have. Focus the Nexus. Everyone hit the Nexus. It's coming through. We got it, game 3.
Game 3, baby. Dunwoody with a decisive game 2. Insanely good play. I think they really just have to go for something playing around that bottom.
So exciting. I think I don't think Avery's getting to play Jinx ever again. Oh my gosh. What a performance.
Oh my goodness.
That was crazy. That is exactly how that team not exactly how necessarily, but almost exactly how that game is supposed to play out. That was very,
great job by Dunwoody.
Well
they played how they were supposed to. Made it a great job.
So obviously, so far, if I were to give player of the series to someone, you have to imagine it was gonna be Avery. But I do have to give huge props, especially from this last game, to the top jungle. They made so many plays on people. It's Shen and Shen and Sejuani finding these picks, and they don't deal a lot of damage, but they're isolated, so they do enough damage to get the kills every time. They picked off people, I think, like 4 times in the side lane.
Huge.
I think they picked off Ari once, Mordekaiser twice, and someone else in the side lane. I don't remember who. But man, what a huge turnaround from Dunwoody. That looked, the only reason why it looked a little hairy there at the end was because that wasn't the opportune time to end the game. But you had the chance to, and they just went for it.
With the Jinx passive, you kind of just get to end there. I think if you had another 80 carry, it wouldn't have been as easy to end.
Yep. I think Tark did a little bit of a blunder there, and you need to give your life to CC the Jinx to stop them from hitting the tower. You're going to die, right? You're going to die, but you need to buy your team time to respawn to give yourself a chance. I don't even think that would have necessarily saved the game, but it's not the solo queue mindset you saw there. It could have been very easy for any of my ADCs that I play with in my elo to get distracted and stop hitting the towers. Right. But you saw the dedication and the focus from Avery coming through to not get distracted. Don't go for the kills. Your objective is to end the game, hit the Nexus, and keep all that damage coming through. But man, I think this is an exciting one. I think Dunwoody found their ground. Concordia has to make some. I think they have to make some huge adaptations for draft. I don't know what you do if you're on the side of Concordia. You have to ban the Jinx, but you have other hyper carry options for Avery to play.
Right. So they've been banning the Kai'Sa here. So I think what they could do is go for the B1 Kai'Sa if they take red side again, because they could just pick it away rather than ban it from their AD carry.
Oh, you're talking about
Yep. They've been banning the Kai'Sa every draft here, so I think Avery's most played is Kai'Sa, so I think they could just go for the Kai'Sa B1 pick if they stay on blue side.
I imagine. I don't even know. I don't even know what Concordia would want to play here, because I didn't see much of a draft adaptation from them. I think, based on what you've seen so far, if you're Concordia, you have to go all in on mid lane. I think that's the only chance that you have, because the top lane Mordekaiser worked really well in the first game. It got almost nothing done in the second game, right?
Agreed.
And then the Amumu pick, sure, it was good for the team fights, but the ultimates were lacking, and you didn't have damage coming through from anywhere else.
Right.
You need someone other than Ahri to get you through that game, because Ahri doesn't offer the damage that you need. The Yone was a good pick. You need something like the Yone, maybe a Tristana or Lucian mid would be good, because you're lacking in the ADC department a little bit, because your bot lane's just getting outclassed by Avery and Judith. I don't want to see Judith on anything other than Lulu right now, because her Lulu game has been really, really good so far.
Right.
She was keeping people alive in both these past games, and some of the alts that came through this last game for the CC alone were just huge.
Yeah.
So big props to her. And yeah, I don't even know what exactly you do from Concordia. I expect, well, if they have a chance to win this next game, there's got to be huge changes. You got to go for something crazy. But
I think Concordia here has to go for some sort of weak side bot lane and look to play through their top side, because that's kind of their strongest option, I believe.
Right, because I don't know what champions are in the champ pool for Concordia bot lane. I wouldn't mind seeing something like maybe. Okay, so here's what I think. Here's an option that you have for Concordia. You go blue side. You pick away the Kai'Sa, leave that open, and then maybe ban the Lulu, because, or I don't know, because you might want to pick the Lulu yourself. So maybe you grab Kai'Sa first. If they don't grab Lulu in the first two, then Concordia could grab Lulu to follow up. But if they're first picking Kai'Sa, you'd have to think that the Dunwoody would just pick away the Lulu right away.
Right.
But I don't know if that's even in the supports champion pool.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because I think you might have seen a draft adaptation for it, but I don't know. Okay, so if their jungler plays Vi, I think Vi's a very strong answer into what Dunwoody showed that they wanted to do here. If they play Vi at all, and it's in their like in their champion history, I would have to imagine that would be at least considered as an option for a ban from Dunwoody. Because if you remove Amumu there and you put in Vi, that looks rough, because your ADC is CC'd and you don't have any damage coming from anywhere else. So I don't know. There's a lot of gaps to fill with Concordia from that last game. That looked totally out of control. Like the first game was pretty close until it wasn't, for Dunwoody. Right. And then like the whole game kind of just fell apart. But this felt from like 5 minutes on that Concordia was just outclassed everywhere.
Yeah,
I love the Lissandra pick though. Ethan played that very well. I don't know if that was his first time or not, but considering he doesn't even own the champion, I would be inclined to think that it was his first time playing it. If it was, holy crap, that was great. But I am very excited for this next game here.
Me too.
So now I didn't get to see I didn't take a look at the items before the game was over. Did you see anything egregious that you wanted to point out other than what we saw in top lane and jungle on Concordia? Is there any do you see anything that noted in particular?
I really think that you just didn't respect the Shen short trades. The way you want to play against Shen is just really space that taunt. What he should have done is space that taunt and then look to pull him in with E and then get a long trade in. And I don't think he pushed his lead as much against him because he got kind of scared. As soon as he got Rylai's, he wins that. So I really think that he should have gone for a lot more fighting in the top lane. Also, like, I know that the Jinx killed him in his ult once, but if he doesn't misplay that, he wins that. So I think he should have been at some more fights for that rather than just farming top lane.
I agree. I agree. Okay, all right. So we see here message from Eric in our Twitch chat. Game 3 starting shortly. Good to know. So hopefully we'll be able to get into draft here before too long. I bet they're probably drafting right now, so it might be like maybe 3-4 more minutes until we get queued up here. Okay, cool. So now that we got a little bit of an opportunity here to talk about some other stuff, talking about our other teams here. So we have Rocket League. They play on Fridays. So correct me if I'm wrong, Eric. I think they have a game this coming Friday, no? The 12th. Okay, and so that is that's a Wednesday, so that's us, right? That's a League of Legends varsity. And I think JV have their last game then too. Oh, sick. Okay, so we don't have overlapping streams then. Nice. Wait, varsity for League is playing JBU Blue on Wednesday. Kansas State is in JV's division. Yeah, okay. So I do want to point out here for JV's game on Friday, it's a little scary that they're playing Kansas State because, the varsity team were playing Kansas State in the preseason, and we got destroyed. We got beat so bad. That was the only team we lost to in preseason.
It's also fairly early in our season. I feel like we could do a lot better this next time around.
Oh, for sure. And JBU Blue will be a great matchup for us coming up because we're both 5-5. It's a win and you're in situation for playoffs for both teams. The loser has chance to get eliminated from playoffs if the CCU Cardinals win both of their next games. So, and I don't know for sure if JBU Blue would be in a situation where they could lose a tiebreaker scenario, but I know that we are, just because our losses of the game is 0-2, and the Cardinals had one loss where they picked up a game, where they picked up a win. So it was a 2-1. So either way, though, for both teams, it's a win you're in, and I think we're gonna win. So I think we'll be okay. But that'll be exciting. We are
gonna do it. I think we got it.
Yeah. So that'll be fun and exciting coming up next week. Looking at the records for other teams, though. You see on the screen coming up as it cycles through, Valorant is 8-1. That is crazy. They are in second place in their conference. They are doing very well for themselves. All of our teams, honestly, are doing pretty good because the league team is 5-2, the Rocket League team is 5-2, and the Valorant team is 8-1. So. Really good start for the inaugural season for the esports team. So exciting stuff coming up here as these seasons start to wrap up and the playoff picture begins to build. But that will all be decided here in the next week or so, and there's not a whole lot to talk about yet, considering we don't really know who's going to be in the playoff picture for a lot of these teams, or for a lot of these games, because a lot of the races are pretty close. You know, you have in our division, you know, it's pretty clear that there's two teams that are locked, but there's potential for one of those teams to third or fourth place teams to swap out with the fifth place team, which would be kind of exciting, and it makes the last week extra important. It's kind of cool how it lined up for us anyways, in that we're playing a team with the same exact record. There we go. Record is us. So it makes the...
Looking at the team, though, I feel like we do have a pretty good chance. I feel like it's going to go well.
Yeah, especially if they dropped a random game to... and it might have actually been Adrian College that they lost to. I don't know, which would make a bit more sense. But then we would have lost to both the same opponents. So that'd be... I'm actually going to... Just because we have a little bit of time here, I'm going to take this opportunity to look right now and go to the leaderboard and see who JBU Blue actually lost to. I want to see the record. JBU Blue looks like... Okay, so I think it was a forfeiture. I think is what it was. Yes, because... Yeah, it says 0-0, so it must have been they had to forfeit the game. Okay. So that makes a little bit more sense, because I was a little confused with who they were playing that they could have had a reasonable chance of losing to. Alright, well, I'm not sure what's taking this draft so long. Hopefully things get started pretty soon, though. So this new patch that we had drop for League, we are now on patch 13.7. And did you go over that at all, Andrew?
Yes. So
anything that you noted that you think might affect top lane for you at all in any way? And I know there wasn't a whole lot of changes, but there were some for sure. I think it might be more bot lane focused for the changes, but you have any thoughts immediately?
Not really. Not a whole changes for champions up in the top lane. I really think it was more so kind of centered around a lot of pro play picks anyway too as well.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about top lane changing a whole lot from that patch.
Right. A little bit of bot lane changes that I like to see. Zeri getting a nerf, so we'll see her out of pro play. It's not like she's particularly common in our level of play very often, really at all. At least I never see her when I'm playing solo queue, like ever. Vigar, pretty big nerfs coming through for him, which I don't mind because Vigar feels pretty bad to play into. And then huge changes for Azir. Again, not one of those champions that you see in gold, silver, plat elos really very often, but for pro play, big changes, and those will come through for MSI. It won't affect anything going on this weekend. So you're still waiting here. Let's keep talking about esports. Let's talk about LCS coming up this weekend here.
I'm really excited for the Golden Guardians game, and I'm cheering for them 100%.
100%. Yeah. Here's the other deal. I also really like FlyQuest too. So whoever wins this game, I don't really care. I just hope that they can at least take a single game off of C9 on the next day. So if anyone watching right now, you don't know much about the LCS, we're in playoffs right now for the LCS. And what's up, Eric? Okay. 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 All right. Okay. Cool. Well, just let me know what you hear and what you find out. Okay. So, just passing a little bit of information along for the audience out here. The reason why everything's taking so long is there's a little bit of discussion about rules for substitutions of players right now, and that's what's taking so long here. So we're going to take a peek at the rule book. We might contact someone from the NECC if we have to, just to see what's going on. But that is what's taking so long. So who knows? Eric is going to let me know once we are good to go. And until then, we got to talk about the LCS a little bit more. So where was I? I was talking about the playoff picture for the LCS. So how it works is it's a double elimination bracket, okay? So you have the teams that haven't lost a game yet in the top side of the bracket. They get like one extra life, right? Because they can lose another game still, and they'll be okay. So the team that has went through playoffs that hasn't lost a game yet is Cloud9. Cloud9 is now automatically seeded into the finals matchup on Sunday, and two teams that are left in the bot side of the bracket who have both lost one game already is Golden Guardians and FlyQuest. Now they both play on Saturday. The winner of the Golden Guardians and FlyQuest matchup on Saturday will play Cloud9, who's automatically seeded into the finals for Easter Sunday. Some Easter Sunday fun coming on from the LCS. So FlyQuest and Golden Guardians. Now I know you said you want Golden Guardians to win. Who do you think's? What's your prediction for the match? Who do you think wins? What's
3-2 Golden Guardians.
3-2 Golden Guardians. So you think it's going to 5 games?
Yep.
That would be for sure the best outcome.
I think they drop first 2 and then they just do a reverse sweep.
A reverse sweep. Okay. I think that there's a world where that makes a lot of sense, because if you've looked at what's happened so far for Golden Guardians, they've been pretty good at being dynamic about their play style and being able to kind of change things up a little bit to do what they need to win. Like, I mean, oh man, the Zeri play, or was it I don't remember who Stixay was playing, but when Stixay went in and killed Double Lift for game 5 against 100 Thieves, that was nuts. That was a clip. Well, that's one of those clips that's gonna live in LCS, in the minds of all LCS fans for a very long time. That was a super fun play to watch. Mm-hmm. So you think Golden Guardians is gonna win on Saturday? Now, I know you want Golden Guardians to win on Sunday, but what do you think what's your prediction of what's likely to happen on Sunday against Cloud9?
Like I said, 3-2 Golden Guardians.
You think it's going to be another 3-2 for Golden
Yep.
Guardians on Sunday? Okay.
Yep.
So if I give my prediction here, I think that it's either going to be... Yeah, okay. If I got to give a prediction, I think it's going to be 3-1 for FlyQuest on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
I think
we
each
have our opinions. One of ours is obviously wrong, but
okay. Yeah, and that person's Andrew. So but either way, I think what's likely to happen here is whoever wins on Saturday. I don't know if they even take a game off of Cloud9. Cloud9 just looks...
I got hope, man.
So incredible. Yeah.
I have hope.
And I hope so too, because I like the underdog stories, And I mean, I do gotta say, I do like pretty much all the players on Cloud9.
I do too.
I don't really know much about MNS yet, because he's like such a new player, right, for the mid laner. But
one thing I'm pretty sad about is that OMG did end up losing to EDG. Close, but
really? Over in the LPL?
Yeah, that's really hoping to make it all the way.
The Chinese league for Chinese equivalent or parallel, I guess, for the LCS. It's their regional league over there. I was hoping that LNG was going to be able to make a better run. It was a little sad that they weren't able to get anything more done, but I'm glad that they went as far as they did, because I'm a little bit of a LNG fan for the LPL. But wait, so hold on, I'm looking here. Oh yeah, they lost to OMG 3-1. It's pretty brutal. So have you been watching any of the LEC recently?
Not as much, but a little bit, yeah.
Okay. So what is your opinion on the new format that they have over there for how they're running their season?
I didn't see anything about that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this is exciting. So I get to teach you here how their format works. So their format is totally different from what they've been doing and what all of the other major regions do for how they hold their season. So normally you have a spring split, which lasts from January through March and into April, like what the LCS is doing right now. And then you have your MSI, mid-season invitational, in between summer and spring. And then you have your summer split after that goes on, and that gives you your results that your region needs for sending your players to Worlds. But what the LEC, what Europe has decided to do is that or for this year at least, they have broken up into 3 different splits instead of 2. Each split is a single round robin of play for regular season, and they have an exaggerated or expanded playoff format. So you take the top 8 teams after a single round robin. Okay, there we go. The single round robin, and then they have these 2 teams broken up, or these 2 groups of 4 teams, where they do best of 3s, and it's double elimination.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. So then once that's all done, then you get 4 teams left. So it's sort of double elimination. So the weird thing is, if you lose one game and then you like make it through the best of 3s that they play, they have you get put into like the lower bracket for the second round. So still, like, it's like you get 2 lives, basically. You get like 1 life for like all of playoffs. So if you lose one of your games in the best of 3s, you get just put immediately into the lower bracket for the second set of games. But yeah, so they do that 3 different times, and the 3 so the teams, so how MSI works, I keep backtracking a little bit here. How MSI works this year is you send each region sends 2 teams to MSI instead of just 1 team. So okay. What Europe does is that they get their first 2 splits out of the way before MSI, and they're going to send the winner for winter split, they're calling it, their first split, to MSI, and then the winner of spring split also goes to MSI. And then for Worlds, what they do is that they take the winners of all 3 of the splits, so winter, spring, and summer, and they send those 3 teams to Worlds.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that actually. I really like that.
Yeah, it's a lot more best of series, because like best of 1s are cool because they're so volatile. But it feels a little weird as a viewer when it's like
it's a close game or something like that. You're like, oh
yeah, it's like, oh man, if you just
easily for the other team,
if you just would have like landed 1 more skill shot or 1 flash or whatever, and everything would have been different. And you can still get that in best of series, but it happens less. And when it does happen, when you get like a game 5 situation, it's really it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is awesome. I like that format change.
Yeah, I agree. It is like the one thing where it's not quite so great is it feels almost like everything doesn't mean as much, because it's like for the LCS, you're going through months of just regular season play to get to the playoffs that all builds up to this one really big thing after months of play, and then you have your winner, and they're like clearly the best team for your region. Whereas this in Europe, it just feels way more like rushed, you know, and it's like, oh, hey, here's the best team that you have right now, as opposed to, nope, this is the best team that we've had for so long. So hopefully we are able to get to a point where we can actually play soon for Dunwoody, because the school closes in an hour, so I don't know what they're gonna do to
right, and I get that the rule resolve or whatever it's just kind of like a lot of people try to fight the rules so much just to kind of be in their favor. I feel like this league.
I agree. Hopefully we can get everything kind of resolved pretty quick, because we're getting to a point here where, you know, because draft is going to take, I don't know, probably like 10 minutes, you know, to get into a game. It's going to take like 10 minutes to get through draft and then get through like champ select and you actually get into a game. Now if you started right now, earliest you could be in a game realistically is like 9:12, and then you have to finish a game within 48 minutes. So hopefully, okay, I'm seeing ours in chat. I think they already did draft. Okay. And we're missing players from the other side now. So I don't know what is going on. Sorry guys, hopefully we'll get into a game eventually. People are shuffling around. It's like at this point, it doesn't even matter. Just queue up. But you know what? It's out of my control. I can only just talk about what's going on. Okay, so recap if anyone's joining in a little late here. It has been the first game was pretty close, and then kind of eventually just snowballed into the favor of Concordia for game one. Then Dunwoody came back very strong with an exceptional performance from the ADC in particular to bring back game two. Put on the Jinx with a lot of CC and tanks around him, and he was able to just constantly put out damage in team fights and basically be the sole damage dealer that the team really had to win the fights. So good for them. I'm a little confused what I'm seeing in the chat here, because I see everyone or a bunch of people typing ready. Okay. All right. So forwarding a message here, there was a substitution that was put in for Concordia that was not previously listed as an option for a sub for their team, and thus they are losing 2 bans for the draft. So if you see that in the draft, that is why. Hopefully, they said they will be starting soon. I don't know if that is doing draft soon or actually getting into games soon. So either way, we'll be started here pretty quick, and things will be rolling. But man, I'll tell you what, this is getting to be a late night, not gonna lie. It's already 9 o'clock. It's It's a Thursday, but we have Good Friday tomorrow, so no school or work for me. So that's good. But
very good. Yeah, I'm glad to have a rest day tomorrow, especially after this morning.
Yeah. Sound like you're not doing too well, but stick is getting through.
Yeah.
Getting through those. Oh, you know what though? I did just realize.
Excuse me. Sorry.
We have we have practice tomorrow. We do have that.
We do. I'm good with the long practice, honestly. I think I want it. We need it.
I agree. We got I got nothing going on tomorrow, so I'm gonna. I will be playing from home. But
same. I'm not driving to school, bro.
Heck no. But it will be good to exercise those muscles a little bit, those finger muscles, and get into top shape for our game that we have coming up next.
Yeah.
The important one, the big one. Another thing for the audience, for the listeners, as I'm trying to talk and stall for time. If you couldn't tell that's what I'm doing, that is what I'm doing. But we have jerseys officially. Jerseys are coming in. Hopefully, we'll be here before playoffs start for the League of Legends team. I don't know exactly if the Valorant and Rocket League teams also have their playoffs starting in the same week or not, but we have jerseys coming in designed by yours truly. Hey! Yeah, no, they look pretty good. I'm excited to get them. Big boy jerseys, yes sir. No more sweatshirts and t-shirts. We'll have actual attire, so that's something to look forward to. And then we're going to be doing some more photo shoots and stuff as well. More R's coming through from... Okay, we have both captains saying ready. There we go. Okay, all right. We are officially in Champ Select. And you guys can't see because of the way the stream's set up right now. But I'll walk you through it. You got a ban for Jin, for Dunwoody, Hecarim for Concordia, Isa ban for from Dunwoody, Shen ban from Concordia, Mordekaiser ban. There is the Mordekaiser ban finally coming through, and then Pantheon ban rounding out. All right, so Concordia, you're just regurgitating some information here from Eric. Concordia lost 2 bans based on a ruling by the NECC, and Game 3 is starting now. All right, so walking through pick ban here. First 3 picks from Dunwoody, Sejuani, Annie, Jinx. First 3 picks from Concordia, Ornn, Morgana, and Yone. So the Morgana was previously banned 2 games in a row, and the ban was dropped here in favor of the Mordekaiser ban, and the Morgana was picked up. How do you think that's going to... Do you think that's really going to have a big impact on laning phase here for bot lane? Or what are you thinking here, Andrew? Okay, so I think Andrew is AFK right now.
My bad. Sorry, Mike was muted. Sorry.
Oh, you're all good, dude. You're all good.
All right. So I don't think it'll have that much impact. I'm really liking the comp here from them, because like they have, although they do have a good amount of magic damage, the Malphite's just broken right now. Malphite's just so broken. And it also is just another top laner for like CC. Yeah, they obviously take away some of the map presence that they have with Shen, but like with Sejuani, Malphite, Annie, like they're just gonna have a flawless engage. If Malphite can even get like 2 people from the backline into his ult, I think they just win every fight, because all Annie has to do is follow up with Tibbers, and that's pretty much over. And like you got Sejuani follow up, you know, you got Jinx damage. You also have an insane amount of peel as well. Like that Ornn is not gonna really be able to peel him out.
Oh my gosh! So I just realized something.
What?
I just realized something kind of silly. That is I mean, I can't see who's picking what. I'm almost positive that's Morgana jungle.
Oh,
either
it might
Morgana
be.
or
I think
Tark.
it is. I think
It's
it is.
either Morgana or Tark.
No, it's definitely Morgana jungle.
Yeah.
This guy only like plays Tarek, so.
Yeah, I'm almost positive that's Morgana jungle. If those of you who aren't like who don't like follow pro play very closely, this will bring it back a couple years. About 2 or 3 years ago, Morgana and Diana were the two cream of the crop #1 pick or ban junglers. They got plenty of pro play. And it's kind of crazy to think about because Morgana, she's a support, right? But they changed some numbers with her kit, and she turned out to be a really good jungler. And that will be very exciting to see that throwback pick brought into the game this time. So that'll be interesting. And something that I think that, like I was talking about, that it was worried for Concordia was going to happen if you try to ban out the top lane or something. They're just going to pick the same comp, which is basically what they did here. Sure, they banned the Shen. You replace it with the Malphite. You don't need the Lissandra this time as much because you have a lot less engage on their part. Yes, they have the Yone, but that's kind of the only one that wants to jump in and get in your face. So you swap out this the Lissandra for Annie. It works better for the team, and you still have the Sejuani Jinx Lulu. I think this is a huge draft advantage.
I think so as well. I mean, the Ornn will be more useful than Mordekaiser. Obviously, you're not really going to kill a Malphite in your Mordekaiser ultimate.
For sure.
So I really think that the Ornn is better pick here from Concordia. But I do think that with Varus being so mobile, he's really just going to need flash up for a fight. Otherwise, he just dies.
Yep. 100%. I mean, the one thing that can kind of be that that variable that you have to account for that you normally don't have to think about is Morgana Black Shield. A well-timed Morgana Black Shield can for sure change how the 100%. Fight's going to go. But based on what we've seen out of the performance from bot lane so far, I imagine that Black Shield is going to be going onto Yone and Yone only over and over and over. So
obviously if Yone goes in, she just saves the polymorph for Yone, kind of just ruins him, because then they can just follow up with an Annie stun and he's pretty much dead.
Yep. This has to I just gotta say, man, if you're Yone in this game, that's gotta feel so bad. Big pressure onto you, and you gotta somehow work your way through Sejuani stun, Sejuani ult, Annie stun, Lulu polymorph, Malphite Q, Malphite
attack speed slow.
Malphite attack speed slow, because you know that dude's already going to be building Frozen Heart. So that's a lot of stuff for the Yone to try to fight through to make sure that he's able to do some damage. And
the Ornn will be able to outtrade the Malphite here top lane. Malphite really, he's just not as good into tanks, especially someone like Ornn with a lot of magic health percentage damage.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Right. And then could you get that stream back up for us in Discord here, Eric, when you get the chance? So you got the level 1 starting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. So we got the level 1 starting here. We have Concordia going into Tribush on the red side. And then we have all of Dunwoody stacking up. Nobody sees each other. Concordia is going all the way around. There's for sure going to be a level 1 fight this time. There's no way around it. They're going to walk up. Morgana's just dead. Flashes to stay alive. Huge Ornn knockup. 4-man knockup. And then the top lane has to flash. Malphite's probably going to go down to Ignite, which he does. First blood going over to Tarek. There's a lot of dead bodies going down. The Annie, can she live? Out of range. Oh, and the flash from Tarek coming through. 3 kills on the side of Concordia, with only 1 going over to Dunwoody. That is a tough start. This only saving grace here is that 2 of those kills went over to Tarek. Bad side.
One of the kills did go to Jinx here, so
Right. That's just it. Wow. There's a 1 kill going over to Jinx. The blue buff's going to reset. I don't know what's going on here in the jungle. Morgana starting Q means that she's going to have the worst time of her life trying to start blue buff here. And it's just absolutely abominable for her. Like, Sedge is going to get through like multiple camps before. It's going to delay her by a lot. Now, the thing that makes this situation bot lane tough is that you have 3 kills worth of gold all into your 1 lane when the Jinx did get a kill, but she didn't even get to back and buy. So she's still sitting on just a Doran's Blade and a health potion. So that's rough, but nothing that they can't just work through. You know, I am very excited to see this Morgana jungle, though. I think it's a really cool pick, and we'll see what they can actually get done on it.
I'm excited for it too. I'm interested to see how it'll work out here.
Yeah, agreed. So this top lane matchup here, you see Orin has 3 CS, Malphite has 9. If you know, this wave is getting pushed in, so we'll be able to pick up some of it. Unfortunate missing a cannon minion there for the Malphite. But is this going anywhere close to how you would expect a matchup like this for Malphite and Ornn to go?
Yes. Yeah, it's honestly, I think the Ornn should have a better matchup. I don't think Malphite should have gotten Prio like that. Unless he let it happen, but I really do think that Ornn W just kind of outtrades Malphite at any step here.
Agreed. Okay, so we got some missing pings coming through in the mid lane. I don't really know what they were for. Maybe they thought they saw something. Good trade coming over from Annie, but Annie is just about out of mana and no TP, so it's going to be something they're going to have to work around. Missed stun from Tarek. And hopefully Annie will be able to get a reset here without losing too many minions. And not a very good trade in bot lane, but not all that bad either. Not really like there's huge kill pressure from Varus without level 6. It's kind of
all this Ornn really needs to do is just go in, trade with W, and walk out.
Right. Varus taking
looks like a bot lane
bad trade, forcing the cleanse out of the Jinx. Jinx going down to ignite here. Can Lulu get herself out to avoid any more gold going over? She's able to. There's no more CC left on the side of Dunwoody. Ornn has to dash away to avoid any kind of burst coming through from the Malphite. But aside from that, things are pretty stable in top lane. A little bit of an advantage here for the Malphite. That seems kind of went away with that Q landing. But everything's kind of stable here. Not looking particularly great for Dunwoody right now. They're down by 2k gold at 5 minutes. Losing a drag. It's that feels pretty miserable. Gonna lie. Hopefully they'll be able to turn this around here with maybe a play through bot lane to try to get them ahead. It's gonna be hard though, because there's a lot of money. They can just kind of bot lane can kind of smack you around with their wall, and I don't even know if they win the 3v2 right now. I think you have to wait until Sejuani gets ultimate to try to make something happen down there.
I agree.
You're kind of just waiting out right now. I think this game is probably going to be a pretty... ultimate coming through for a big chunk onto the Yone. Pretty good play from the Annie there. Tibbers is still alive. And Yone just walks up, doesn't respect the stun. A tower shot coming through, unfortunately for Annie. Annie's also out of mana again, and is gonna have to think about
back off
the reset. Yeah, you have the wave pushing in, and that's exactly what Annie's gonna do. Good call from Ethan there to keep up the tempo. Okay, so wave gank opportunity. Look at this. You got the Sejuani hiding in the alcove. They see. But it might be too late. Okay, so Tark actually... I thought the Tark wasn't going to flash. If Tark didn't flash, he was dead. He just held onto it a little bit. Flash still comes through. Good job forcing that summoner spell out, and there's an opportunity for a repeat gank for a much easier kill later on. And which will be timed out pretty nice because I guess we don't have objective timers up right now. But Dragon, did you catch to see what time they took Dragon at? I think that it'll be up in like 3 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
So that will give the Sejuani time to clear the top side and then come back down to make a play in time for Dragon. Dude. Okay, so top lane here, we got just kind of a trade back and forth. Ornn missed his knockup, so it didn't go very well for him.
Ornn does have the Sunfire here, though, so I do believe he just wins fights now.
Yeah.
Verdict, Kazaki does have to itemize into the plated steel caps just for Varus and Yone, because that's who he has to be worried about. Not really worried about getting CC'd that much. So that does kind of suck for this matchup for him, but this Ornn isn't really playing it to the best of his ability.
No,
so that's
definitely.
Good for Kazaki here.
Definitely not. I think the state of the game is a lot better than what I expected it to be from the really tough level 1 that Dunwoody had.
I agree.
But only being down, so okay, wait, so we have a gank coming in from Sejuani, going onto the Tark. Tark has no flash. I assume he's just gonna die here.
Huge, and it goes to the Jinx with the
shutdown money going over the Jinx. That is huge. That's exactly what you needed. Good for them to hold off on the damage just to make sure that the Jinx is going to get the money. Yeah, I didn't even see that coming through because of where the camera was. I didn't see the Sejuani was walking down
the Sunfire and the Ornn matchup just doing work. He's able to just itemize a lot better than him because obviously he's Ornn passive. So
right
for the matchup, like if he starts playing it better, it would be a lot harder for him. But he's kind of missing his ease and
he's not playing it particularly cleanly. It's just to the benefit of the Malphite, but yeah, I totally see how that matchup looks.
It is definitely very rough for the Malphite.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, Tyler doesn't really have to care about that. All he has to do is just gonna farm and look for big ults.
Lulu getting caught out here. CC on Lulu. I don't think there's a world where she lives. She has ultimate available. She uses it. She has the shield. They're kinda okay. All right. It was enough CC. Man, that is a crazy amount of CC they have from Morgana, Varus, and Tark. She must have been Lulu must have been locked down for what? Probably like 3 seconds there in total.
Yeah, that was
that feels
very,
so bad.
Very long CC there.
That is it's like where's the counter play, right? Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. Shot on a ward, not respected. Okay, there's so much going on. Annie getting CC'd in the mid lane, and he's probably going to drop to the Morgana binding. Nope, she's able to get out.
He's out.
And then Jinx coming through the damage for the kill. Jinx is excited. She's trying to run down the Tark. Is it going to be enough? Not quite.
Very, very good for the bot lane there, though.
Yes, and it's also huge that Annie didn't die in the mid lane from that game.
Yep.
Absorbing that pressure very well. The only result is 2 plates going over to the Yone, or maybe 2. Might just be 1. We'll have to see what happens. Alright, and then the Sejuani's still hanging around bot lane. Probably just going for a reset here, but the Yone is roaming. Alright, the Sejuani was able to get out. Is the Yone going to be able to find anything other than a ward? Doesn't look like it.
I think they do just go for Dragon here because bot has to reset. It is only the second Drake, so it's not a big deal for them to lose this.
No. And what you can do here, I don't know if they're going to do it, is go trade for Rift. It looks like John's still on the bot side of the map. He might be looking for a steal here, actually, which would be pretty wild. Drake resets. That might give him enough time to get over.
Oh,
unlucky. Down to double digits. He flashes.
Ooh,
able to
Avery
live.
finishes off the Yone here with the ult.
Yeah, Yone just dropping to the ult. So Jinx
that actually is not the
fed.
worst for Dunwoody. He did have to bust flash there, but it was worth a shot.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. It was super close, and you get a kill out of it, so it's not even like you're giving over Drake for
Losing
nothing.
so much, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Jinx on a killing spree. Look at that, 300 gold shutdown bounty on the Jinx. That's going to be something you want to protect if you're the side of Dunwoody at all costs. Because if that goes over to the carry like the Varus or the Yone, things can look pretty rough. Alright, so let's take a peek at CS here. Any really big CS discrepancies anywhere? Doesn't really look like it. Looks like everyone's pretty average. I do want to give some props here to Ethan because in the first 2 games, he was down in CS by quite a bit, but this time he's gained his bearings, and now he has a 6 CS lead over this Yone. Pretty good. Good for him. He'll be able to farm up this wave in addition. So it looks like, based on the pings, there might be a play in the works for Rift Herald, or Tarek whiffing his stun on the
With the Ornn losing
and,
Cryo here too, Herald might be good.
Yeah.
Jake's taking a good trade on the Tarek for walking too far up there.
And you might even be able to do this without bringing your bot lane up because you have the cross-map ult from the Jinx available, either available right now or available shortly. And there's not really anything that they can do. Okay, so looking to make something happen on the Yone here. Yone tosses it out and just gonna flash right away.
Probably the right
That's
choice there. If he gets
mate.
stunned, they just main CC him till he's dead.
Now,
So.
they don't know that the Morgana backed, but this is a great time to do Rift Herald right
After
now.
getting
which
Yone
is
flash
like-
there, I think the Herald is pretty free here.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of pressure that they can apply without sending their bot lane up. And even worst case scenario, even if there is a fight going on, Jinx can send a cross-map ult up there for a little extra damage and help try to swing that in their favor. Morgana is going to find out that Sedge is there. It's going to be a smite fight. Who's going to get it?
Oh,
Okay,
and it looks like it
Smite
goes
not
up to
even used. That's going over to the side of Sejuani. Pretty big ult coming over from the Malphite, but
Jinx ult
the
there.
Jinx ult did
One
pick
for
up that
one,
kill.
and they did deny the Herald, unfortunately. They got the XP and gold, but they will not be able to pick it up.
Yep. So better than nothing. More money going over the Jinx.
Somebody is slowly closing the gold lead here, though.
They are. They're within 1K. They were down by over 2K earlier. So this is
And
they
again,
are
most of their
playing very
gold is
well.
on who they want it on, so this is going pretty much in the favor of Dunwoody. All
I
they have
agree.
to do is just play out these fights right.
I mean, right now in lane, a 3-kill Tark is fine. But as soon as you get out of lane and start team fighting, that extra Ruby Crystal isn't going to feel very good when all that money's sitting on the support instead of on your carries. So I don't know if they're really going to be able to even do that much, but we'll see. Only time will tell. That Ornn ult can be really important. And Morgana did finish her Leandres right now, so she's going to have even faster clear times than what she had previously. She is down by a good amount of CS, so it's going to help her try to catch up. Big trade coming over here in the favor of Malphite for right now. Malphite taking... Okay. Morgana buying
Ooh, the Morgana
max
mining.
range.
Oh,
It's a
instant
Lulu.
stun.
They're ignoring the Lulu for right now. Lulu has ult available. Tark's ulting, but for what? I don't think that they're going to be able to catch the Lulu. I don't think they're going to be able to catch the Jinx either. Instead,
Annie
is coming
killing the
down.
Yone here,
Annie,
didn't they?
huge trade. Solo follow onto the Yone. And in the bot lane, the Tark is going to fall to Sejuani all across the map. Dunwoody has closed that gold deficit, and they are now ahead by just short of 1K gold as they shove in all these waves here. Now, is this going to kill? No, that's it. John's just gonna walk out of that. Okay. So things are looking very good for Dunwoody right now as Jinx still hasn't died. That shutdown gold is still on her. And then Annie kind of just walking into the Morgana. It has stun up. If she had stun available for when that started... Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, that kills.
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah.
Greeting for the
Not
health
good.
potions. Unfortunately, that's going to mean that The third drag of the game is going to go over to Concordia here, unless John has some kind of miracle steal, but with the TP coming through, I think the best option is probably to just give that up. Okay. So the Sedge ult goes through. They're gonna try to. Oh,
Dude,
John does it. He steals. Even if they both die here.
The Mountain Drakes is so good for their
so good. It's so good. Well, it was so good, and now it's so bad.
He goes under there, yeah.
So the Jinx dying to the Varus, giving that shutdown gold over to Varus. Pretty bad. It was good. Dropping, if 2 people die there, it's fine because you're denying soul. Or denying soul point. 4 people dying for denying soul point.
And a shutdown to their 80 carry too is not worth.
So now we're back
I
in
really
the
think they
situation.
should let John go side for the steal there.
Yep, they should have just. And I don't even mind the Malphite going in with him, but the Lulu and Jinx should have probably.
With Annie not being able to be there, it's not a fight they should take.
Yep, I agree. So the good news though is that your Jinx is still very fed, a little less fed than the Varus. Varus is going on hit here this game. So he's going to be able to match, to a degree, some of the damage output from the Jinx, but not quite the same. But then you have other options to try to deal with the Jinx. Both ADCs taking cleanse, and the Jinx is not available right now, so she's going to have to be careful until that's back up. So we're back basically to where we started about a few minutes ago.
Ooh, the Morgana mine pretty blatantly there.
Yeah,
that could have been very good for them.
The Yone ult trying to keep himself alive. It looks like he's going to. Jinx ult just a little bit wide of the target, and everyone's kind of going to reset. Hopefully someone goes and clears that control ward just sitting in there, but I don't think they're going to get the opportunity to with the Varus right over the wall like that. John stepping up, gotta be a little bit careful here, gotta be a little scared of the ult potential coming through here. Now both of the bot laners are sitting in their lane trying to get that wave shoved out and hopefully get a tower. Meanwhile, Lynn's taking a lot of pressure. Solo 3v1 here is the Annie tries to fend off the push from the Morgana, Varus, and Taric. It's not looking very good. If they get, okay, if they, alright, so Flash coming through.
Tark ult gone.
Is everyone gonna leave? Tark ult? Okay. Everyone lives. Nothing crazy happened. Tower was not taken bot lane, which is what I was looking for. Yone able to deal enough damage to keep that from going down. The camera's going everywhere right now. There's so much happening on the map here, but no one's dying. We're not missing a whole lot. Just watching a lot of pressure as they chip away minion auto after minion auto, trying to knock down this mid lane tower. And I think it might go down, and he has ult available with the stun. And unfortunately, the Sejuani is just going to get CC'd up, and there's not going to be really anything else that they can do. Okay. Malphite's getting low on mana. He's going to have to be a little careful. Mid lane still getting pushed into the Jinx. Look, top lane, it looks like the Malphite's probably going to have to reset because he's out of mana. He's staying for this next wave. He wants that cannon minion. Understandable. We're kind of just waiting for waves to shove in. As both these teams tried to reset their lines, and Dunwoody at a severe cold disadvantage,
going down
I would say, at this point. You're now down by over 4k gold. Getting near that 5k gold deficit. That's it's getting to a level where it feels scary and hard to play into.
definitely
So
still winnable if they just peel this Jinx though and she gets one good fight. I do think it will swing heavily in the favor of Dunwoody.
Yep. Okay, John's going in
a little aggressive
into
here.
a lot of CC.
A
He's
little
just gonna
far
drop.
up.
You don't have a front lane anymore. You gotta back out. Try to keep your ADC alive. Looks like that's gonna happen. Okay. So good news is that your ADC is still alive. The bad news, your support doesn't have flash anymore, and she's so squishy she can get caught out by a lot.
One more nine, yeah.
Yeah, one more bind, one Ornn knockup, or Yone knockup, and alright, Miracle ult doesn't come through this time for the steal. 3 drags all stacked up for Concordia. One more and they'll have Soul. Ornn with Mountain Soul is a scary concept.
Very rough. Yep.
I would not want to have to deal with.
If Dunwoody can come back here and start getting Drakes though, 4 Mountain Drakes stacked up for them will be just absolutely massive.
Yeah, Sedge and
Especially on that
Malphite
Malphite, yeah.
will die. But they got a long hill to climb up here. They're definitely not out of the game for sure, but being at this gold deficit is these Ornn items will start to come through in the next couple levels. That's going to make that feel even worse to try to play against. So Kazaki, Tyler, the top laner, he is getting the better of Ornn in these trades here for the most part, I would say. He's playing this matchup pretty well.
I would agree.
He's sitting on that Jack show, so that makes those tank v tank fights a lot more playable for him. He's getting a lot of damage from that to deal with the damage coming through from the Sunfire Cape. So you can match up with the Ornn pretty well in the side lane for right now. At level 14, once Ornn gets that upgraded item, the value from the... Wait a minute. So he actually won't have to worry about that. He won't have to worry about that until he buys Jack Show. Yeah, because I forgot that Sunfire Cape isn't even a Ornn item anymore. So, or not Ornn item, isn't even a mythic item anymore. Yeah. Which it looks like he's going to build it right here, yeah. So he canceled his build? Oh, is he upgrading items right now? He is upgrading items.
Oh yeah,
because
his first upgrade comes at level 13.
Yes.
So his item gets upgraded level 13. Every level after 13,
right, then he gets to start upgrading his allies.
It's just that he would upgrade the Tark item. I don't.
So,
I mean,
I love this.
It's good, but
I actually love this. So a lot of times it's very tempting for you to try to upgrade the item for your carries right away. Which in this case, your carry is so far ahead with the 6 kills that might be the best option. But upgrading support items is actually really, really valuable for Ornn because the amount of stats that you get, like the gold value from it, is just astronomical. All right, flash for flash in the mid lane. We got a team fight actually going down now. Annie ult stuns up. Tarek ult coming through. You gotta kite that out. Gotta back away. Jinx ult. Jinx is free fighting into their team. Front to back. Jinx flashing on the Yone. Is the taser going to be enough for one more auto? It doesn't look like it. So very good. 2 for 1. That's huge. You burning all sorts of subs here. Your jungler's going to drop. And the mid laner's going to drop as well. Okay, alright, so that fight ended up being a little less desirable than what they were hoping for. It looked really good at first. Then you're kind of grasping for straws here, trying to do a little bit more than what you really should be doing. It was a small victory.
The Sejuani reset and then let Jinx free hit tower.
Yep, that's what they should have done to try to hopefully maybe knock it down instead of just keep going for more.
It is Mountain Soul for them, so I don't know if they'll be getting up soon. And I think John will be up soon enough, but they are going to be able to set up a better position with vision for them, so it's not the best, but hopefully Dunwoody will be able to get in there and actually set up some vision. They have 2 big front lines, so it shouldn't be too hard to walk in and get some vision.
Okay, so we have 1 minute from, like, basically 27 minutes is when the dragon is going to spawn. So they have about 50 seconds to get over there, try to get some semblance of vision, but John is on a ward, and there's 3
Oh
people
no, and he's
stacked in
walking
the
forward.
bush,
Yep, he's
and he's
posturing
gonna
that
walk
way.
for it.
Oh,
no,
yep.
even worse, the Jinx going down because he didn't have vision. That is rough. That's
Really
really
rough,
Mountain Skull going over to Concordia. And I don't know if there's anything you can do to prevent it. No, because the jungler's down there too.
Yep.
You got to give that up.
Unfortunately,
And,
that is Mountain Skull over to Concordia. Really, really unfortunate that Dunwoody didn't have vision there.
So it's the one chance you have here. The soul will be up in 5 seconds. Drake will be up in 5 seconds. Your ADC is up in 4 seconds. You can chuck an ultimate down there and pray. That's all that you can do. And it looks like that's not even going to be something that they're going to be considering doing right now. Oh, the ult? Oh, kind of close. Kind of close. Within 400 health. I didn't see the ultimate. He held on to it the appropriate time. I would have sent that a little earlier, and it would have been too early. So, good try from the Jinx. It was close, but not quite enough. Unlucky. And you're just, you know, they had that really good team fight mid lane. If they can replicate that, even when they're this far behind,
I really think they do have a chance of replicating that. They just
Yes.
like the Jinx getting caught out there is really unfortunate. They need that Jinx up, so they're gonna give her a red buff over here. That's really good for this next fight.
Yep. Okay. That's really good. You're gonna have some. You're gonna have to bring up your mid laner. You gotta
start walking over
toward Drag. Really good that the Malphite was able to dodge that Morgana binding coming through. Otherwise, that would have been.
Malphite really needs to ult this Varus here. He has no flash for this fight, so it's just like if he ults that Varus, it's gonna be really good for them.
And that's where all the money is. The Varus is 9-1.
If Jinx can get that shutdown on the Varus, it's huge.
Oh, that's a lot of CC. And he's caught out, and he's dropping. They're gonna have to fight now, and he can't even really fight front to back because the ADC has to constantly be dodging all the CC. And in the meanwhile, the rest of the team's going down. Not able. I was able to see the Jinx throw out, I think, 2 autos result. That fight was pretty unplayable for Avery there. So they're trying to get this without minions. It looks like they are going to knock this tower down. I think they're going for the end here. This might be it.
I don't think they'll be able to end. Annie gets up too soon. They should just rotate and go to Baron.
And that looks like that is what they are going to do. Okay, so
everyone except the Yone has upgraded items here.
So what are you doing here? Are you telling the team to haul on over to Baron and try to go for a steal, or are you just turtling at this point and giving up?
At this point, turtle. You really have no chance. You just let the Jinx rocket try to steal, and
it's blocked by the Varus. That was a really good play from the Varus, actually. Telegraphing that it was going to be coming from base and getting into a position where you could block it. Okay, so we got a TP coming through from Yone to apply pressure bot lane as the rest of the team bases and gets back out onto the rift. I think you probably just leave Yone in a side lane, send everyone else top lane, and try to split the pressure a little bit.
I do think so too.
But it looks like Yone is going to come over to mid lane instead, which I also don't hate because you need to get that shoved in. They do seem a little discombobulated with what they want to do here. I don't know why. So I guess
I don't know why they only have 3 top. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the plan is for the Morgana to hover the Yone, which is fine. Probably not ideal, but now you're in a situation where you have a 2v1 bot lane with Annie and Morgana, and everyone else is trying to deal with this pressure top lane. Malphite forced to ult defensively. Yone going in on the Annie. Annie drops to a crit. Unfortunate. They're losing top. They're losing bot. Everything's just falling apart for Dunwoody right now.
Not looking good for Dunwoody, unfortunately.
This is a 12k gold deficit with Dragon Soul and an Ornn, as the Ornn items are on everyone except for the Yone. He's the last recipient of an Ornn item this game. As everyone else is doing their job pretty far ahead. Malphite trying desperately to absorb some of this pressure and force him to back off, but now they're just losing 3 inhibs down. All right, John is going in. He knows that something has to happen. The Jinx getting caught in multiple ultimates. She's gone. One shot.
Looks like it's the end of the game here. Lulu's
flashing. Yep. Everyone's dead except for the Annies. Annie's just respawning, and the 1v9 potential just is not there. This looks like this is going to probably wrap this up here, almost certainly. There it is. There's the last kill of the game.
Very close. Good try by Dunwoody here.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Last game, it really came down to like playing around the vision, honestly.
Playing around the vision.
They didn't play around enough vision where you're against a Morgana Varus, you're gonna be rooted for at least 20 million years if you get caught. So it really just came down to, I think, just some really good picks by Concordia to win the game here, unfortunately. But Dunwoody had a really nice try.
On top of that, I think if you have a different level 1, that game looks totally different as well.
I do too. I agree.
Because there's a world where Varus doesn't get a bajillion kills because they just have so much money down there in the bot lane and just have better stats. There's definitely some nuance to that level 1, and it's unfortunate that that's the way it goes, but I do have to say Dunwoody put up a good fight for sure. There's definitely some clear sources for improvement, some pretty easy mistakes to correct. So I'm not even all that upset about what happened.
I think they're still locked for playoffs here too, aren't they?
I am pretty sure they are. I don't know for sure. I'd have to look.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very tired.
I'm tired as well. This is a very long series, so we'll see you guys around.
Yeah. See ya.